Flame on. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm here today with my special guests, Tevia Smoker. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Then I behind me. I see on this in the final review of DCEU and the Energy Universe.
And one more because it's the last of 2023.
Let me try.
Okay.
Wonderbot.
I was gonna say my man, but but you know what? I'm just gonna saddle for this. Screw you.
If I didn't play it now, it would have been the last clip of the night. It was a mercy. Come on.
Yeah,
I think that clip should be. You should bury that clip. Consider this mercy.
The ship is dead.
Channel.
Okay.
They're coming out of the woodwork now. No. Why you gotta do this, J Heat? Why? That's like mentioning Super Sons in a stream. They show up.
Hey, I was fan requested to do it the next time you and I collab together. I had to honor it.
Yep. But hey, you're a fan anyway because you're gonna make me I think be a part of your Benny's Tom Taylor, John Campbell, and you're
save it for a separate segment, Tevia. Save it for a separate segment.
Yeah. Save it up to the stream, Tevia.
No, I don't know. And you're gonna event on us for April, and you go what day you got next.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's gonna be a fun one.
Yep.
Without further ado, Aquaman 2.
Yep.
Man.
Pretty solid movie, honestly.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Now, I know they can. Now, this movie might not do well commercially in terms of the box office due to Amber Heard and all the controversies involved. In Flash alone, this is going to make this movie a stinker. Jesus Christ. But for once, I thought the movie was good for what it was.
It was for what it was meant to do. I think it did great. The thing about it, I know that we're upset that like the DCEU had to end on Aquaman, which I'm like, okay, I could see that. The thing is, short of that, I agree with J Heat. It did what it was meant to do, which is continue Jason Momoa's story. I would have liked to have seen Ben Affleck in there, but that's just me. But you know what? I was satisfied. As for Amber, here's the thing, and I had this conversation with my dad when we got out of the movie. They really couldn't completely get out of the movie because there's too many scenes that where she like saves the day, so they couldn't exactly take her out. So I could see that. And in terms of like the humor, when people complain about the humor of this movie, I always try to remind them, this is Jason Momoa's Aquaman. The same humor established by Zack Snyder. He wanted Aquaman to be like this bro.
Who technically acting a Pete David's one of Aquaman.
A little too close to...
Well, what I mean in terms of the movie version of Aquaman, in terms of like characterization, joking around, because as far as I know, Aquaman has not really been like this jokey character before Momoa.
Really.
Actually, that's not entirely true. It's what Brian in the Bold. He did do a joke.
But that's a tribute. That's a tribute to Silver Age comics and Golden Age Aquaman. Yeah. Golden Age Aquaman.
Well, it was Golden Age Aquaman. It didn't so much joke. But he was a joke.
No, wait. That is being that was Super Friends,
which was based on that and Silver Age version of Aquaman.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, man.
But regardless,
before Aquaman, we have Namor first.
No, Namor debut.
Namor's a D-bag, and I hate Namor. But going back to this movie, all in all, I pretty much enjoyed it. Is it a perfect movie? No. Hell no.
No.
But is it a pretty solid sequel? Yeah, I would say so. Considering the fact also, I didn't find myself being taken out by bad CGI at all because for the most part, the CGI in this movie was actually pretty good.
And no forced cameos.
No forced cameos. I know, because they could have easily forced stuff in there. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll take it. It's a self-contained Aquaman story. Okay, cool. I would have liked if we saw like. See, here's the thing. At this point where things are, if this were pre-Flash, in other words, if this movie had come out pre-Flash, I think we would have seen like on the TVs clips of the Justice League like trying to counter this environmental damage. But since this is after the reboot, ostensibly, they can't do that.
Yeah.
Justice League.
All the more reason Flash should have been delayed to 2024.
Yeah, or at the very least, Flash should have been the very last DCEU movie.
Flash should have came out like this year at the end of the year.
Yeah, in other words,
more time. Right on what you're saying, we have to give it at the end of that movie, Bonnie. I know George Clooney joke. I hate that ending of Flash. It's so bad.
Just
less
yeah.
One at a time.
I love how Clooney was like, "There's no drugs on this earth that would make me come back to be Batman."
Yep.
I love how that guy's so self-aware about how much his Batman sucks.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, Batman and Robin was glorified product placement. That's pretty much the whole movie.
Toy commercial.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman. I hate that line so much. But anyway, back to Aquaman. Because we're talking about Aquaman, not Batman.
Yep.
I'm Batman.
Jahit, by your command.
But of course, Your Majesty. By the way, shout out to the return of the Banhammer.
Yes, thank you. Ben Triton, but I'll take that. But I since I live in Florida, I am going to take this thing to the beach.
Oh, cool.
And take pictures.
You do you, man. You do you.
Exactly.
That sounds fun.
But go on, Jay.
There was, even though I'm a bit of a comics expert, there was one thing about this movie that truly irked me above anything, and that was the use of Aqua Baby for the second half of the film. Because if you know the storyline, if you know how infamous this storyline is, mainstream audiences would never have signed off on it.
And Jay, we talked about this before the stream started. I think they did have the scene where Manta kills Aqua Baby filmed and they showed it to the test screenings, because I remember vaguely that one of the things test screenings complained about is the baby thing. So I'm like, okay, they probably saw that and cut and reshot it, because I think after that there were reshoots and they're like, okay, end this, end this, end this.
But other than the obvious, I mean, you had a pretty solid cast. Manta worked well, but I feel like the whole
he got wasted. That made me angry. What? You wasted Black Manta? What the hell? None of
the Aqua Baby who laughs. Oh my gosh, that is.
Laughs.
Don't tempt them to him. Don't tempt them.
What's up, T29?
We do have that. We have it in Dark Knight Metal. We got it in Evil.
The Drench.
Batman.
Which was actually a pretty dope character, Bryce Wayne.
Yeah, she was great. She won the few Dark Knight killer I like next to Devastator. Well, not Devastator. Devastator, the Green Lantern, Batman. I like that one.
Dawnbreaker, I believe his name was.
Dawnbreaker, Red Death.
My favorites were the Doomsday Batman, the God of War Batman, and the Drowned.
The Drowned. Yeah, that's her name.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the occasions whenever I talk to comic book fans on Twitter, I'm like, and they want certain things to happen in the movies that happen in the comics. I'm like, be very careful about what you ask for, because there are some things. This is the perfect example of it. Yeah. When adapting the comic, this is one thing I'm glad they changed. As much of an advocate for page to screen as I am, change this, because this will not work in the modern audience. 110% will not work. In
your face, literally.
Mm-hmm. It will blow up in your face. 100%. That's right, Tavia.
Yep. Wait, don't know. I wonder if everybody would like to see that, because you know what? You had the ball to pull that trigger. I think all of it do is stakes and make the movie a lot more higher licks, and put the idea of a ball to move. Would people get pissed off? Yes. But you know what's in any anyway? Fuck it. Just pull the trigger. I say just do it and see what happens. No,
Well,
I don't want the audience to be mad about it. I win. I would be at the respect them for point at the scene.
I have to play devil's advocate on this one because there's nothing wrong with edgy storytelling. You can have nuance, but there is such a thing as poor taste.
You can't
No.
kill a baby.
No.
What they could have
No.
done is have Manta kidnap both Aquaman's father and the baby, and then kill the father when Aquaman
Easy
arrives
substitute.
Yeah,
Easy substitute.
in many ways, it's easier to adopt a comic to animation. Yeah,
That is
because
Yeah.
because here's the thing about animation: roughly the same audience is going from comics to animation. It's not like you have to like market to the general audience when it comes to animated movies.
Yeah, but
You
we the Car Spider came out this year, which I still need to when I talk to them about the movie 2023 and to that list. That movie.
By the way,
that movie
Spider-Verse
great.
is not comic accurate. It's really a self-contained story because the
True,
Spider-Verse
but I'm
comics
sorry,
are a
the
mess.
comic Spider-Verse is bad. Look through it. This comic's horrible.
It's still really good though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bit of
the
a
movie's
mess, but
great,
it's still good.
but the comic is a train wreck.
Convoluted to say the least. But continue, Jared.
But yeah, it's just like I'm always like, some things won't translate well. Like, unfortunately, here's the thing, and I see a lot of people saying that like Mixoplick should be the villain of Superman Legacy, and I'm like, that won't work because here's what you got to realize about the general audience, and this is partly because this is the one good thing the MCU really taught the general audience. I say a lot about the MCU dumbing down the audience, but here's a good thing it did. It emphasized grounded supervillains.
Yep.
You can't do Mixoplick. Absolutely not. Lex,
Too wacky.
Metallo, Brainiac, maybe. Can't do Mixoplick. But
Darkseid.
Darkseid,
Yeah, you have to build up to. You have to build up to, but it's pull off.
not necessarily. The Snyder Cut it did actually pretty well. But my point is, you can't always 100% adapt the story. But here's the thing. This
What's up,
isn't
Master Sergeant?
What's up, dude?
Oh, my God.
This isn't a Batman Hush scenario when they just changed it for the hell of it. This movie, they changed something, arguably
better.
because they knew the general audience would be like, I'm out.
Nope.
No.
That's where I draw the line.
Horrible idea.
Yeah. Plus, let's face back. When Aquaman kid did die in the comics, it did not help the Aquaman comics at all. For what I heard from Comic Church video, I think he remembered about this. It didn't really help the Aquaman comics. It kind of tanked the Aquaman comics.
Well,
It was in
because
poor
you
taste.
also had everything being like depressed. I mean, Mara divorced Aquaman at that point, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Did that happen? I don't know. I reread the story recently to read the comics. But let me read the
The
story.
point is, here's the context of why they tried that. This is how desperate they got, because Aquaman pre-Zack Snyder has pre-Jeff Johns really.
I'd argue Peter David in the 90s, but
Peter David.
For yeah, Peter David helped, but I really think it's the Jeff Johns run that really got people to take this character seriously, like fully.
True.
But my point is, pre this, you couldn't really sell an Aquaman book. So they were like, we got to try something to get people kill his baby. That's how desperate these guys
Kill
got.
his son.
Yeah, let's kill his baby. That's how desperate these writers were. Nowadays, you don't have to do that. Arguably, you didn't have to do that in the first place, but I don't think they would get to that point.
You don't get the animated show at the baby.
I appreciate the pun, Master Sergeant, but if you
and actually, that's a good point. Because here's the thing. A lot of media are calling this the end of the Snyderverse. This isn't in the Snyderverse.
This is Snyder.
no,
Snyderverse
off from
is
that.
Snyderverse. Arguably, my movies that I think comes to Snyderverse are obviously Man of Steel, BVS, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Suicide Squad, the first one, Wonder Woman. It's still Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Arguably, maybe Shazam.
Yeah, I did Captain Marvel. OG Captain Marvel.
Because
it's self-contained enough
references to work. But if you notice it has the BVS Batarang. It references the Black Zero event, so it still fits. Everything past that is not Snyderverse. It's just the Hamadaverse, which is kind of funny. So the DCEU without Snyder apparently flops. Funny how that happens.
it's one
Also,
thing.
also not the many corporate interference butchering the movies.
Well, it's a combination of things, not just corporate interference. They wanted to copy Marvel.
True.
The Emmerich wanted to secure his end of the year bonus,
Yep.
and
There are a
There were
lot
just
of I think
factors.
there are a lot of reasons for that. But
Yeah.
the point is like it's not in the Snyderverse. 100% not in the Snyderverse. Arguably, the Snyderverse does not have one bad movie. Hopefully, the Ayer cut comes out so we can say the Suicide Squad's in that. They are being Master says they are being malicious. Restore means something, and restore the Snyderverse has been going on for years. Yeah, restore and like sell Snyderverse, license the Snyderverse to Netflix has been going strong. Which
That's not gonna happen.
no,
But
trust me, Tavia,
it's more
that could
likely
happen.
than you think. It's more likely
than you think, particularly with Zach and Stuber saying, okay, you know what? We would like to do this. So
Now,
they want to do it. And remember, Zaslav is still in charge. How many things has the man been licensing to other streaming services? Hell, the Snyderverse pretty much is on Netflix now.
Hey, Young Justice may go to Amazon Prime and without legal maybe 50-50.
If they license, see, here's the thing. Arguably now with them licensing a crap ton of other content, this is where I'm going to say they could get another season of Young Justice.
I'll be happy.
I would go-
This is when I could say it's not confirmed. It's not like 100% likely. I would say it's like it's half and half the way I see it.
I'd say 45, maybe right at 50, because again, a epilogue movie like Trouble in Tokyo would be more appropriate. But that's just my opinion.
So will
agree.
the restore? So will Snyderverse apply to Rebel Moon 2? By Snyderverse, in this context, we're talking about the DC movies.
Yeah, not Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon is separate content.
Don't be bashing. Don't be bashing Rebel Moon, Tevio. Otherwise, we'll have some problems.
No. I'm not bashing Rebel Moon. I'm just saying the Rebel Moon is a different thing altogether.
Yeah, it's a
But
different universe. But the point. So back to Aquaman. But I will say again, I liked another thing I liked about this movie. I gotta say is Mira. She was a badass in this movie.
Yeah, she was good. Yeah, she got it pretty good. Granted, she got
separate the art from the artist. She was awesome in this movie. That's what I'm gonna say.
At least she didn't turn the bed.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. But I liked that. I liked Orm's character arc. The interaction between Orm and Arthur was awesome. I love that.
That's my favorite one-time movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. It gave me an idea. DC book that's like a team-up book between Orm and Arthur, and they're like going on adventures. Because they did like the Aquaman book, which I heard sucked. But they could have just had Arthur and Orm doing stuff. That they could call it Aquaman and Orm or like something.
The Aquaman book was weird because it tried Jack. I like Jack and Hyde. I like that character. I care about Aquaman from Young Justice, which I like that character. But the Aquaman book was the same part how I did with the Young Kemp book. It made no sense.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the main villain in that story. I don't remember.
Well, if it was Kelly Sue DeConnick, I think we know why that thing sucked.
Yeah.
But back to the main film. So basically, Manta and his pirate crew are scouring the seven seas, stumbles upon a vast of Atlantean artifacts.
They went to Antarctica first.
It was basically Antarctica, or at the very least close to it.
Yeah.
And then Manta loses a lot of his agency for the rest of the film because the moment he pieces together the Dark Trident, he gets possessed. He wants his revenge.
Not an evil entity.
Not that Trident, another Trident.
Yeah, which I could see why Manta fans would be a little pissed because Manta himself didn't do a lot.
Yeah, he did giant shit. Like, what the hell? You built up Manta up for Aquaman 1 all the way up to this movie, and we were going to see him kick ass. What the hell?
He did kick ass, though. He did kick ass, though.
Sure, he did kick ass at some moments.
He just had a puppet over his shoulder, but other than that.
Yeah.
Which they've done that many times before in a superhero movie, so it's not like it's a new thing.
So, Gore the God Butcher had the Necro Sword.
Although with Gore, it was still a little more like it was Gore's like
precision.
free will. It wasn't like he was being influenced by it wasn't like there was like some hostile force inhabiting the sword that can do stuff. It was still him.
It wasn't an Emerald Twilight scenario, let's say.
Yeah, it wasn't a parallax thing.
Yeah, what a
parallax on the nose, Jared, but I respect the endeavor.
I had to. You could say I had a parallax.
A Venom thing.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. But and again, I want to emphasize this again. Fantastic. Since this is post Flash, I have to say this. Really good VFX, if I may say so myself.
Oh, definitely. Everything was smooth. The editing was good.
Yeah. There weren't a lot of scenes that really took me out of it. Flash had a lot of stuff that took me out of it. Like, wow. I was like, what? And by Tahim has a question. What are your favorite Aquaman tries? I kind of like this one that I have that was from Justice League. And obviously, it's Aquaman's mom's trident. But I also like, because there's 5 prongs, it represents the 5-film arc that we still could get at Netflix.
If it were me, I prefer the trident from the Peter Davison run with the hook hand Aquaman. That's my personal favorite.
By the way, I thought they were going to give him a hook hand in this movie. That's kind of a waste of because you already have the long hair and the beard. At least the Aquakinesis hand. Give me that. Because of all the versions of Aquaman we've gotten, wouldn't you expect the Jason Momoa Aquaman to have that?
I mean, I could see it. I mean, it would be extra CGI, but I could see it.
Okay, it's all good, Tevia. But or at least the hook. They could have just given him the hook.
At least.
But so Jay, let me ask you this: what did you think of? How do you rate this movie out of 10? Let's go with that.
I'd give it an 8, solely because the Aquababy controversy that was always going to stir people the wrong way, and I believe Amber Heard should have been recasted rather than that. That would have done some goodwill.
In terms of me, I give it an 8. Partly because the VFX were awesome, the story was great. I also give it because they didn't do the Aquababy thing, because I'm like, that would have been really bad taste. And in terms of Mira, I think it's just a situation where you have to separate art from the artist, and I pride myself on that. I don't always succeed, but I try to. So really, because I'm a big fan of the what's up, Najee? I'm a big fan of the Mira character herself as well. In fact, Britt and I are working on a fan story about her. But so I really had to like exercise some self-control to not crap the bed like Amber Heard.
Well,
but I was like, okay, you know what? It's Mira. Just see it as Mira. And when I was able to do that, I was like, okay, this is dope. I enjoyed this.
I agree. Oh, good. Now my Wi-Fi's back. That's just.
How about you, Tevia?
Yeah. My Wi-Fi keeps going in and out, and it pissed me off. Like, what the hell?
Okay.
I hate technology. Hang on.
Boy.
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna quickly show this to the panel, so don't freak out and don't tell Tevia. Okay, I want to go ahead and share this and get it out of the way.
Oh, is it is it what I think it is? Spoiler alert,
right.
Our character's better.
What do you think, Tevia?
I'm going to assume Hippolyta Kent, New Jacksonverse.
Hippolyta Kent is the character Jay Heat and I invented. That's the daughter of Superman and Wonder Woman.
That technically preceded Trinity by 3 weeks.
Suck it, Tom King. You stole her idea.
No, that's going to be fun.
No, but it was hilarious that like we did that stream where we had Hippolyta Kent. The week after, oh, Trinity. We're like, what? He even DM'd me. He was like, Jared, I think Tom King stole our idea.
Nice.
But yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna be our
funny.
first few video. That's gonna be the first new Direction Verse video of the new year. I just wanted to go ahead and announce
And
it now.
we're gonna do that. That's gonna be
Nice.
But back to the film. Back to the film.
Yeah, after my wedding, before my wife cried at me again. I swear, it did think of a woman on my wage, but I got my wedding. Okay, my wedding even a movie was. I know people like I know we're gonna hate hearing this, but okay, I give it was a 2 out of 5 stars. That's my little wedding.
Whoa, that is
Whoa, whoa!
my God,
Yeah.
Tevia.
Yeah, because here's the thing. On the finale of DCEU, did the finale, they felt disappointed with my time. And the Black Manta, I didn't like Black Manta. I'm really angry because what? You built Black Manta as the face for me, but you get up on not a bad guy who to do that, man. I know Black Manta. I know he's the best. That's a former in story. Then I'm a bad guy who I don't give a damn about. And it just felt all over the place. And not really a good story. I don't like the story with all the train wreck. Dog moves out of the current check out and stuff. Even though I went there to pull the trigger, I know they're not gonna do it. I know. Yeah.
Thank you, T29.
Nice. Negative. But the story was kind of all over the place. I feel like they were probably starting to figure out we didn't help, and it just felt like kind of a mess. However, truly I did like Owen for Ocean Master. Motion and Aquaman they were the higher time movie. I like that. Then it was all great. Everything else was just disappointing. But that didn't me. If you got a movie, that's fantastic. I'm glad you got a movie. That's great. I'm so happy you like the movie more than I did. Because at the end, we all have our own opinions. But that is me. Yep.
I appreciate the courtesy. Just like Apollo Kent is a better character than John Kent, but that's another.
Yes. All versions of John Kent. I'm just gonna put that right there. All the versions.
But
anyway. But honestly, this was sure it wasn't a big overarching finale, but this was a pretty solid film. And I like the Iron Man reference at the very end with the press conference.
I am Iron Man. I am Aqua. Yeah, you know. If you notice, he also calls Orm Loki.
Yeah, that was funny.
And I really, because a lot of people, okay, say what you will about Throne of Atlantis from the DCAMU, but Throne of Atlantis and Aquaman Run are essentially the same story, just with a few creative liberties. The story
Except the comic is better.
Yeah, but the movie was bad and train wreck, and then this is stupid, right? What the hell? Like, the one thing I was somewhere with Ocean Master, he was fun. He was fantastic. I feel like him.
Sam Whitmer.
No, he was amazing. But it was just such a waste. Also, Black Man all the way in that movie too. What?
No,
in that movie and then he got killed off. What?
Technically, he doesn't die until Apocalypse Wars. He technically strokes Orm's ego, leads a revolt against Atlantis, starts a para-Atlantean war between the Atlantis and the surface world, collicits in killing Queen Atlanta, and a final duel of the fates with him and Arthur. Manta barely does anything in the film other than stir the pot. Maybe a puppet master himself at best.
Also, we don't know what was motivation against Aquaman. We don't know what was the plan. It felt like he was the afterthought.
Well, Aquaman in the New 52, and Jared, this is your time to shine. But in the New 52, Aquaman was part of the original roster in Jeff Johns' Justice League Volume 1.
Yeah, and the reason why I think they did the whole Aquaman origin for Throne of Atlantis, because they figured, okay, we're doing Throne of Atlantis, let's just do it then. I wish that they had just gone with because for them up until like the roster change with Shazam and Aquaman, the movie Justice League War is pretty much shot for shot the book.
Yeah, the only downside cut the Mullen on the movie. I think like you cut the Mullen. You made him dirty. You made him be a jerk in that movie. That pissed me off. Cut the Mullen.
Technically, he was the comic relief. That's kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
True, but it wasn't funny. You just also cut the Mullen Jr. None of them are more better. Okay, technically we usually got the Mullen Jr. in that movie, but only had Freddie Freeman. What?
There were cameos.
There were cameos because they can't fit everyone into these movies because they only have a certain amount of budget. And as our interview with Sam Liu showed, it's not that big of a budget.
That's true.
But as I was saying, that's one of the biggest wasted potentials of the Throne of Atlantis movie because it played too much into the feuding brothers or Duel of the Fates mean. I might as well have been watching the Anakin versus Obi-Wan duel on Mustafar.
You underestimate my powers.
Yeah, but Ocean Master in that movie felt two-dimensional and not that interesting. Which is sad.
Orm is an aristocrat who got snubbed for the throne due to Arthur being older and the byproduct of a prior relationship. That's it.
Yep.
And in this movie, he is genuinely convinced that Arthur was going to usurp him for being older.
Yeah, with the former bad motivation, I like the motivation. It's far smarter than the Cameron motivation. It was stupid.
And the Decamu, it was the fact that Atlanta treated Orm with malcontent because
also
of her
the king was killed and the dogs died.
Orm was going to want revenge on the surface world regardless, but that's a separate conversation.
True.
But the point is, Orm had a pretty decent character arc in this movie. Sure, it wasn't a full redemption by any means, but you could tell that Orm wasn't going to be the main villain in this one. Now,
I'm fine with that. We have made the first movie. We don't need to be the main villain in the second movie.
Now, at this point, spoilers abound because I don't think Korvax needed to be in this movie, in this Necro monster army.
Not really. No, they really didn't.
Not interesting villain. He's boring. Like, I didn't need this guy. He's not frightening. He did a big shadow face guy that I've seen in so many other movies. He's better than like Venom, but not Venom. Or Parallax, but not Parallax. It was weird.
I feel like the studio believed Mansa couldn't carry a film by himself, so they kind of tried to give him a little leg up. But
so they made their own villain again, who's not in the comics at all.
The concept is, but yeah, he wasn't in there, and yeah, that kind of ticked me off. And then I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And the news broadcast scenes were a little dragged out, but I appreciate the lore building. You can cut this video down by 30 minutes and it would flow a lot better.
Yeah, it would have.
But as for the DCEU in general, it's a decade or a legacy of studio interference, corporate greed.
Trying to find Marvel, but failing. And trying to just capture the same magic that Marvel did with Avengers, but failed.
Not even that, because
to the team
and not even that, because the director who did Avengers didn't even get a delay for the theatrical cut of Justice League that apparently doesn't exist. But he didn't even get a delay for that film, allegedly.
Yeah.
Nor does he deserve it because that movie should not exist. That version of the movie.
That version of the movie should have been canceled. Or smarter, hey, why not delay the movie after Winter Snyder after he finished grieving?
I do recommend them. Just quick.
Hey, I haven't seen the movie yet. Do you recommend watching it? Yeah, I recommend it. It's an enjoyable watch. You'll like it.
Watch it and decide for yourself.
Yeah, I may not like it, but I'm glad they liked it. If you want to check it out, you can check it out.
Hold on, I want to keep talking. I'm just going to look this up right quick.
But yeah, the reason why they did that, Tevy, is because I think like at a certain point at the end of the year, like they had to release a certain amount of movies in order to get their bonuses. So they wanted to get their bonuses, which again, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying I understand why they did it.
Yeah. So they got greed, basically. That took over.
Corporate greed. Corporate greed.
I hate corporate greed. That's so bullshit.
But the fun part is, guess what? Most of those people are fired.
That is true, yeah. Ooh!
Yes. 79%. Man, the critics have been really differing with the fans lately.
Yeah. Because,
almost as if they're not taking it seriously.
Almost as if these critics...
$1 billion. No one saw that one coming. Wasn't good.
It's almost as if the opinion of these critics matter less than the non-existent cut of Justice League.
Yep.
Wait, hold on. I want to know if that cut even exists. Hold on. I don't even think I could even find it on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, you can. The non-existent cut of Justice League. By the way, Najee, that merger thing got shut down.
It did?
Yeah, it turns out the talks like broke apart.
Fell through.
Yeah, they fell through. So it's not. So that ain't happening.
So the parent David murdered dead and buried.
Yeah. By the way, so the audience score for the non-existent cut of Justice League is 39%, and the audience score is apparently somehow 67.
Mid at best.
I have a feeling about that. My
Where?
theory didn't think the BBS and the America not doing well. Okay, it did well financially, but some reason they're not very bullshit. I think people said, "Yeah, fuck it," I'm gonna do this movie because it's fun. It's right on Zack Snyder, and people out there want something right on DC. And when we reality check was.
Yes, I was just look at that, Jay. Look at the scores for that movie.
Yep, a boy band improvement.
And it's interesting when Rotten Tomatoes is coming out and saying we were wrong about Man of Steel, we were wrong about Batman versus Superman, and I'm like, oh, thank you.
Almost as if what could have been if you weren't sucking up to Marvel for Access Media.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's always funny, I think people actually like good movies. Shocking enough.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I'm still kind of mad. Insomnia wasted a perfectly opportunity with Shocker and Spider-Man 2. I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, I'm still mad about that too. But all in all, I mean, in terms of Aquaman, as the finale of the DCU, it sucks. I'm just gonna say that. I agree with you, Tevi. As a finale of the DCEU, it's utter garbage.
I agree.
As a movie in and of itself, removing it from its conclusion status, not bad. I enjoyed it at least.
I can understand that. I mentioned before. At the finale of DCU, this should not be a finale. This did not be a finale at all. This felt like acting more like an old standalone movie that got transferred thanks to the corporate interference. Well, okay. To be fair, this movie was not supposed to be the DCU. If the DCU was still going and we had one more movie left in the DCU, maybe in John I would be able to a touch.
If they did Justice Leagues 2 and 3 and then this, well, actually no, if they did this and then Justice Leagues 2 and 3, which could happen, I'd be like, okay, you know what? Fine.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That would make sense. Now that the plan started out to work with the people who screwed him over.
No, because what he said is, I would complete the story if Netflix got the film rights to these characters. Which again, this coming after the head of Netflix movies goes, "Oh yeah, we'd love to license the Snyderverse." I'm like, it could be a coincidence, but them two saying pretty much the same thing that close together. It's sus. Let me put it to you that way. It's sus.
Like, I remember before, and they're like, okay, this is a different talk altogether. Like, Superman and they're like, Superman is the problem. Superman, like, no, that's not the problem. Like I said before, across Spider-Man, a great movie. People like the movie. My favorite movie from last year, 2022. Last year was a great movie. People like good movies. That's what people want. Even if you're not a superhero genre, actually, you can do good superhero movies done right. What we don't want are bad superhero movies. For example, Man will come out next year. Oh dear God, that movie's gonna be horrible. That movie comes next year. We're screwed on that one. The Marvels, which is my video that movie was 3 out of 5. But looking back at it, it's nothing special. But
It looked horrible. I still haven't watched it because you guys know my opinion of Carol Danvers. So I'm real. That's a movie I'm gonna wait for streaming because I'm under no. I saw the post credit scene because of course it got leaked. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm under no obligation to see that. I hate the main character. I strongly dislike the actress who plays her. So I'm like, why would I waste my money when I can go see Aquaman, where I was more guaranteed a good time than Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
That's not, at least I liked the first Aquaman movie. I hated the first Captain Marvel movie.
But the main villain in the Marvels, this villain sucks. Carben's a terrible villain.
It's
the
almost
biggest
like
piece of dog shit.
there you go. It's almost like Marvel has a problem with last villains, except for Thanos. That's it. That's it.
Well, that and Loki.
Thanos had a lot of hype behind him. That's a separate case entirely.
Yeah, exactly. I think Najee has a question, by the way.
Oh, okay.
What happens if the
Talks fell through, Tevia. Talks fell through.
Najee, but talks fell through. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's dead.
Which it's all the more good for us because if they are doing a Netflix licensing deal, it's less red tape they got to go through.
Yeah, and what actually that merger also caused them more damage because a monopoly. Which I said one more time, I don't want monopoly. That is a bad idea for the economy and mess everything. Which I know I put a movie. I hate politics. I hate that's monopoly. But monopoly so I think the economy, so that is a bad idea. That could mess up a lot of stuff in the economy. Not the movies, a lot of stuff. But anyway,
I was going to delay this till 2024, but I was consistently asked on my social media and my DMs. We never did a Wonder Woman video for New Direction Verse. Like
we're gonna do that.
No, we did do One Direction,
which is hilarious because she's pretty important to the New Direction verse. She's half of the reason we established the New Direction verse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going on Amazon, Najee.
That's
going on Amazon.
Speaking of Batman, oh yeah, I forgot the main little Batman movie came out, which I didn't watch that movie yet because
I didn't because it doesn't look like it's for me. It looks like a kid's like Halloween thing. Plus, when they try and do comedy TV shows, I've already been burned on Harley Quinn. I'm done.
Yeah,
I actually did as my de facto Christmas movie for the Christmas video for the year.
Just watch Batman Returns.
I already did that last year with you, Jared.
Watch it again. That's a Christmas movie.
That's debatable.
Yep.
It takes place on Christmas. That's the criteria for a Christmas movie. Shazam is a Christmas movie.
And by that logic, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is definitely a Christmas movie.
Yep. Shazam, actually, the first Shazam was a Christmas movie.
Technically, Rebel Moon's a Christmas movie.
Kind of.
I had to.
Well, yeah, Spider-Man, that's a Christmas movie.
No.
Spider-Verse is a Christmas movie. There you go. Spider-Verse is a Christmas movie.
Technically, Spider-Verse would be a Thanksgiving movie, but I appreciate the energy.
Any movie that features Christmas and or snow. Christmas. No, not a Christmas movie, Tevia.
Wait, didn't Battle of Super Sons debut in April?
And it takes place
actually in October, I think.
So
no, not October. Maybe not. It went during NYCC last year.
But
yeah, I did hear about that. That's weird.
Aliens. Yeah, that I'm like, what the hell? It's like them teaching the aliens the alphabet. Jahid, have you heard about this?
Yes, I have, and I'm just like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, but dear
God, you can't make the xenomorph into a cuddly teddy bear. You can't do it.
It would be good merchandising. Where
the real money is made.
Oh gosh.
But you can't. I agree with you. You can't do that because the whole point of the aliens is they're terrifying.
Yeah, they're killing machine. They're monsters. That's what they are. It's trying to do the same as Predator. Try making that thing into
Given their
a
stocks, they're desperate, and I am not surprised.
yeah, they are desperate. The other movies, they did not do well. The only movie they did was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I love the movie fantastic. That's the only way they did what did they. Everything else,
Dial of Destiny flopped.
yeah, that was flopped.
I saw that. It was okay
That's not
compared to the other, compared to like the other Indiana Jones movies, and that's including the Crystal Skull. It's nowhere. I enjoyed the Crystal Skull a lot more, and that says a lot.
Yeah, guys, that's like 1, 2, 3 are making the classics. Crystal Skull, it's fine. It's not that bad of a movie. The more I think about it, it's not that bad.
It lost me when he survives a nuke in a fridge.
Yeah, that confused me. Like,
I was like, what the? Because if you're that close to a nuke, everything liquefies.
Yeah, you know what?
Not to mention,
you in a fridge. You can't survive it. You'll be dead.
well, Wolverine survived a nuke, but he has a healing factor.
He has a healing factor.
Yeah,
That doesn't count. He can regenerate from a blood cell.
Oh, yeah, that did happen to me. Right?
Yeah, and I'm like, well, that's overpowered.
Yeah, that's stupid. Like, he survived the nitro game exploding himself.
He can survive anything as long as you don't have the Miramasa on you.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But back to this. So Manta does lose a lot of agency because he's technically possessed the whole time, and then you have a B plot about an insecure scientist who's too ambitious for his own good.
He's not. Wait. He's not possessed the whole time. He's really only possessed the last battle of the movie. Yeah. A lot of it is just him. He's just being steered. He's not being like possessed and puppeted like he's all of a sudden like Loki controlling someone.
But he's still being influenced.
Yeah, but the guy is saying, "Hey, help me, and I'll help you kill Aquaman."
That is true.
That's not possession. That's let's make a deal. That's what the movie is.
Deal with the devil. Even Batman said, like,
yeah.
I'm gonna make a deal actually with the evil entity, even though because I hate Aquaman so much I want to kill him.
Yeah, that's it. He's blinded by rage, and that's what it is.
And unlike most versions, Aquaman is directly involved or associated in the death of Manta's father.
True. His father was still a pirate. He's still killing.
Yeah, exactly. In the new 52, I think he actually directly killed Black Manta's father. Like,
because in most versions it was circumstantial.
Yeah. But new 52 was more like, I think his father was like killed by pirates, so Aquaman went off in a rage. He killed who he thought was perpetuating it. He didn't know that the guy had a son on the ship with him.
Yeah, he screwed up. Oops. With then when Batman won revenge.
Aliens,
but the supernatural universe.
You know, given the whole theme of revenge, Batman would have been perfect for this movie, even as a cameo.
I'm shocked we didn't get that cameo. It's didn't happen in Flash. We supposed to get a Batman cameo. Okay, we did get a Batman cameo. We were going to get Batman at the end of the movie. That didn't happen. No, we got George Clooney instead.
He was the only one who agreed to do it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, which I hear that because you could end the movie like you already planned with having to be Superman back in the film, having Harry Man with Supergirl. That thing that I want to happen. I wish that we got it because we saw footage of Supergirl and TV spot on the courthouse. That was in the movie. That was in the movie. There's no way I think that's not in the movie. But we would get that. But we didn't get that. Because
I would argue that a lot of the DCU is split between the Snyder films and the Hamada sanctioned films. True. The Hamada films were just damage control and going too far in the opposite direction. And I don't think a single one of them was commercially successful.
Yeah.
With maybe Shazam.
But I had to go to the first movie. I feel like Fury got a good movie too. I'm sad Fury got bombed.
Both of them were great. I'm going to tell you right there. I enjoyed all of the DC movies that came out this year. Now, granted, some more than others. I agree
Yeah.
with you, Tevia. I enjoyed Fear of the Gods for what it was. It was dope. And in terms of but it was arguably the last time they had like a big like hit, short of the Snyder Cut coming out.
Yeah.
Black Adam.
Because it's kind of funny, when the Snyder Cut came out, they had people talking positively about DC movies for the first time in like years. Funny how that happens.
Ironic.
By the way,
They could save others from death, but not themselves.
Oh, indeed. By the way, I
With a
finally did about Super Shine. You got the light.
With abilities that would be considered unnatural.
Yeah. Super Sons, I mean, it was
October 7th.
good.
It was direct to DVD release, so
And it was last year, Tevia.
I know, but you guys were right. Initial release date October 7th, 2022.
Yeah. It was
Right,
good. The thing about it, I mean,
it was very downgraded, very self-contained.
Yep.
And you didn't really have an overarching villain. You just used Star of the Conqueror.
Well, the
Which-
problem,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. One of my issues with that movie, so you have Batman and Robin. You have Superman and Superboy. You just have Wonder Girl.
No, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, where the hell is Wonder Woman?
Off-world on a mission somewhere? We don't
She
know.
wasn't even in the list of heroes on the board. You're telling me this universe doesn't have a Wonder Woman? Then how does it get a Wonder Girl? This makes no sense.
Well, maybe
Also add on to the fact that they didn't make it like low. I love Pika's video on this movie when he was talking about how like Lois is like when Lois Lane goes, "I knew you were taking over the minute you saw the meeting," and then Pika cuts in, "No, you didn't. Stop trying to make yourself sound smarter than you are. Everyone already hates you. Just ask Jared from Comics League."
Oh, I still love this movie. I did the day I died. I'm dying a hill at the end of the movie. The day I died, but that's me.
And it's also on
exactly.
Netflix if you support the official
Yes?
release.
All right, that's cool.
But I will say this, Tevia. It's one of those movies where if it pops up in my streaming queue or like I see it on there, I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. It's so I enjoy it. Not as much as the other DC animated movies, just because I never really had that big of an attachment to that particular DC IP, but it's still a fun movie.
I can say that.
That's why
I attached Super Shine from the very beginning in 2016. I still found it there, and I love the movie. It's my favorite IP in DC period.
Yep, there you go. That's great. My favorite, probably Dark Knight Returns. Both parts.
Oh, that also was good. Yeah,
that was pretty much like comic to screen. I was like, wow.
Yep.
Now that's up there, but the best DC original animated movie,
Under the Red Hood.
Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, Under the Red Hood. That's another one where it's like straight comic to screen. And
there are a few differences.
There are a few, but let me put it this way: they're minor enough that for the most part, it's comic to screen.
Yep. The only difference is the imminent credit stuff. They got with imminent credit.
Which, thank God they kept that out, because how would they explain? Okay, so this Superboy from another Earth punched reality, and that's kind of what brought you back to life.
Yeah,
what?
Yes. Like, huh? Also, apparently Bloodhaven got blown up in that comic. Wait, what? Wait.
Oh yeah, that they airdropped chemo and blew up Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. No.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was a thing in that comic. I didn't know what I'm doing. What Pika
Dan DiDio using executive order to kill off Nightwing because he hates legacy characters.
True.
Even though from a commercial standpoint, no one would let him do it. And this is arguably the first sidekick in the company's history. No one's going to let you, and one of the few sidekicks who grew into their own. If you killed off Nightwing, Rick Grayson. Now, I will say this. The Rick Grayson saga was the closest you will ever get to killing off Nightwing, and people were pissed.
That thing was horrible. Saying I'm seeing the Robin this year. Oh, God, what they've done, my boy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to boost sales, fine. But Fitzmartin really didn't do anything with Tim Drake. Like she really did.
Fitzmartin should be kept away from DC in general. I think that's Fitzmartin is on the left. She's worse than Brian Michael Bendis, and that says a
Wait,
lot.
Ain't a lot.
It's not even possible. Tom Taylor, after this, it pissed me off with the John Kent. But Fick Martin? Jesus Christ, that would have been much worse.
Well, tell me, at least Tom Taylor we know he can write a good comic. That's the thing about Tom Taylor. I call it the Tom Taylor paradox. I know you can write a good comic. It just can't be attached to DC continuity. When it's attached to DC continuity, bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
Because he has to. Because editors are on his neck. Now, if he's telling an Elseworld story, self-contained, he can do what he wanted to do. As long as he has
Even though Injustice, and we're gonna cover this on.
Hello?
You actually examine the book. You actually examine Injustice. It's utter crap.
Well, the second half is. I mean,
Second half after
No. The entire thing. Because when you think about the amount of hoops, of logical hoops that you have to jump through in order for this story to make sense. To tease you on the video, here's the thing. I get it's an Elseworld story, but none of the characters act in any way like they would. And plus, the whole Wonder Woman being evil thing, I get he explained it in a comic. May I explain to you why that doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
So, hold on.
wait,
Let me
wait.
change the banner. Hold on. I haven't used this in a long time.
Yeah.
Spy. Okay.
But wait.
You were the spy.
But wait.
Let him cook.
It's not even that. It's not even that. I applaud him. Thank you for giving at least an explanation. My problem with the explanation. Okay, so the basis of this is the reason why Wonder Woman is the villain of Injustice is because back in World War II, it's relatively World War II. Yes, I would have liked that too.
Yeah,
In World War II, Steve crashes on. It's pretty much the Wonder Woman movie, except Steve turns out to be a spy for the German army, and then basically Wonder Woman kills him. I've heavily truncated the plot, but that's the key thing. So that's his explanation for why Wonder Woman is like more aggressive and doesn't trust men. My problem with that, so she leaves the island and joins the Justice League. You think she now has positive examples of men. She doesn't have to hate them anymore.
Or at the very least, she's matured in the past 50
Yeah,
years.
So
Mature,
it makes
mature,
zero sense. And that's just one of the extreme logical inconsistencies in this story.
The death of
in this
Nightwing
thing.
alone.
Don't even get me started on that BS.
Yeah. Well, they are don't attack the fans then. Because
One at a time, gentlemen. Jared, please continue.
But my point is, you can enjoy Injustice. There are parts of it that I like. It's just the problem is there's any like say for instance, Batman's like, okay, you know what? You took a life. You took the Joker's life. I'm going to completely like shun you, knowing that you're probably at a very emotional state right now. Because I still maintain if Batman had not acted like a complete and utter D-bag and was actually there for his friend when his wife died, guess what? Injustice Superman wouldn't have happened. If I can give you a really simple explanation of how this won't happen, that's how you know the logic that your story is literally based upon is extremely flawed.
Even though the original screenplay was for a video game marketed to edgy teenagers.
The video game thing is fine. I'm just saying the comic storyline, stories 1 through 5, the basic story of Injustice. That's where I'm like, okay, this is utter, like, what the hell am I reading?
Even Diana ending Maxwell Lord in Infinite Crisis was more nuanced than this.
Well, that makes sense because
Jared?
Well,
the influence of the lasso. What irks me is Superman and Batman's response. Because Batman, you have contingency plans for this very scenario, mind you. And you're upset that she killed someone that had mind-controlled Superman, literally the most powerful being in the DC universe.
Arguably.
I'm exaggerating, but I'm using Dwayne The Rock Johnson terms. And Superman, you know that she was mind controlling you. You should, if she's like your best friend DC keeps trying to tell us that she's your best friend / secret love. You should trust her that she had a reason to kill Maxwell Lord. Get off your freaking high horse. But he's like, I don't know if I could see her the same way. She's still the same person.
Maxwell Lord was never going. She was in a corner. I'll go ahead and take out a single solo layoff for this.
Thank you.
To recap Identity Crisis, Maxwell Lord pretty much outmaneuvered and betrayed everybody.
Basically, not Danny Grace.
Identity Crisis, thank you. Basically,
Identity Crisis with the members, Infinite Crisis.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. Infinite Crisis, thank you. But basically, what Waller's doing now with the light synergy and Young Justice and all that. But to make it a long story short, Maxwell Lord was able to mind control Superman of all people, and he was not going to relinquish control easily, even under the Lasso's influence. Now, you can make the argument that Diana could have compelled Maxwell to let Clark go and surrender.
But that's not the way the lasso works. The lasso just tells you to tell the truth. That's it. It's not like the lasso of
persuasion.
Submission.
No, submission. Yes, because that's what Superwoman's one is. It wasn't like that. Plus, he said, okay, let's say you knocked me out or like put me in prison. The minute I'm able to, I'm going to take over Superman again. This isn't stopping.
Yep. I would never stop.
Under the lasso, he said this.
Yep, you're going to kill me.
Yeah, and she was like, okay, snap.
Yep.
Hell, you just fought Superman across like 5 continents. Hello?
What? He was on the end with all the enemies were going after him. And it wasn't his fault.
No, but my point is, you know how dire the situation is. Superman put Batman in the hospital under control of Maxwell Lord. But my point is, you know how the stakes. Batman, you literally prepared for this scenario. This was your excuse in Tower of Babel for the contingency plans. And you're on your high horse when like Wonder Woman kills you and he goes, get out. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
What the hell?
Okay.
That's my problem with Batman's no kill rule, is that no kill rule that doesn't exist, but when the writers try and make you think it exists, they use it as an excuse to make him unjustifiably isolate himself from his best friends who he trusts with his identity and his very life. I'm sorry, that doesn't work at all.
Hey, whoa, Charlie, the reason Superman I did get that comment was in the I think. Whoa, I told Superman out there, right, you know, and even he I think no killing. But he fought Superman literally to kick Mongo out and save his people. Well,
but that doesn't mean you have to kill.
No, but
that's a completely different context.
The way I've always gotten it is that none of these characters have a no-kill rule. They just have a no-kill as a first resort rule. They will kill if that's the only scenario.
True.
Hence Wonder Woman. Here's the thing about. Here's the thing, though.
One at a time, gentlemen.
Here's the thing, though. Wonder Woman's literally a warrior. She's an Amazon warrior, and you're surprised that she takes a life. Wow, dude. Wow. Yeah. She's a warrior for peace, but sometimes, I'm sorry, the way the world works, particularly the DC universe, sometimes you have to lop off a head.
Yeah, because she killed Medusa. And
counterpoint. You could have knocked out Maxwell Lord and put him under a power.
But he said, as soon as I get out, I'm going to control Superman.
Yep. I would never stop.
It's like also with Batman. Batman is equally responsible for what happened, for what the Joker does. Because here's the thing. Batman knows that he puts the Joker in there, he's going to break out. He knows it at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many people have I murdered by letting you live?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He knows 100%. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to put him in there. He's going to... Yeah, and before someone tells me, oh yeah, Jim Gordon would hunt him down. If he kills the Joker and says, hashtag new direction, by the way. If he kills the Joker and goes, Jim, I promise I'm not, first off, he wouldn't go on a killing spree if he killed the Joker. Like, what the hell, dude? It's not like you're just on the street and just shooting people. No, you're killing someone. Wait. You're killing. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. That's Flashpoint Batman. You're killing people.
No, that's Batman. That's Grim Knight Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing.
You're killing someone that has filled entire graveyards and has arguably committed mass genocide. Yeah, he dies.
Yep.
And by
He was-
Master Sergeant, dude has Gatling guns in the Batmobile and beats someone merciless. Someone dies. Yeah. Anyone that tells me Batman doesn't use guns, explain to me all the guns he has strapped to every version of the Batmobile and Batplane.
Wait,
So
that
I
would
just
count.
I can't move on unless I do this bid. Just hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
okay.
Have you forgotten the entire graveyards he's filled? The
Yeah.
thousands who have suffered?
Yep.
The friends he's crippled? You know, I thought I'd be the last person you'd ever let him hurt. If he had beat you to a bloody pulp, if he had taken you from this world, I would have done nothing but search the planet for this evil pile of death-wishing garbage and send him off to hell.
I will say my favorite line from that scene is when he goes, "Bruce, is that what you think this is about? Bruce, I forgive you for letting me die. I was fine with that. But why? On God's green earth,
Is
he's still alive." I love that.
alive?
Well, first off, Jensen Ackles as Red Hood is dope. But my
Yeah,
point
yeah.
is, Red Hood's kind of right in that, because he says, "I'm not talking about killing Harvey or Penguin or Two-Face. I'm not talking about killing everyone, just him."
Yeah.
And if Batman is at that stage where it's the same thing like with Superman, when people tell me if he doesn't have Lois Lane, he turns into Injustice Superman, then should he be a superhero with this much power? No, he
Yeah,
shouldn't.
that's not
If he's
entirely true.
if he's
Like,
on that much of a hair's breadth to turning evil, and by he I mean both Superman and Batman, they shouldn't be superheroes. I'm sorry, that doesn't work.
If I did that.
even in Deceit and John had been both Michael John and Superman Potter saved the day. And even then, it's all that but they won't go psychos.
Doesn't Damien sacrifice himself in the end of that comic?
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah,
that was a hell of a volume. That's my favorite volume of Deceased right there. I just love where John is falling after blocking the planet from being blown up. Then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
as he's falling, an army of Kryptonians just fly up. I'm like, yes,
That's
this
so
is
cool.
dope.
That was awesome. Like, come here. Why did you wait for this? This is a far better story than the Benjamin failed.
Kind of. But Master Sergeant has a good point. It's just too fantastical and cartoony. Joker cripples Batgirl, murders Jason Todd, and Batman doesn't beat him to death. Bad writing. Yeah, because Batman's human. No
human.
amount of human.
Even in the nail.
After Barbara, no human is going to go, okay, no, we have to take him in. And this is my problem with the way Jim Gordon's written. The justice system is not going to work for Joker. He's faking. It's not going to cure him. And that he's just going to get out and kill people. What he's done to your daughter and this guy's sons. Yeah. Also, here's the thing. You're a cop. And I believe in terms of use of force, you're justified in killing the Joker, dude.
Yeah.
Wait a second here. Even with Batman, stand your ground that the Joker's gonna kill you. You could take him out. What?
Self-defense alone.
Self-defense alone. That's illegal. Jim Gordon can't do anything if Batman kills the Joker. Because all Batman has to say is, I feared for my life or Robin's life.
Yep.
Even in the nail, this is a solid Elseworld story. One of the best Elseworld stories DC's ever done. Even in the nail, when Bruce finally snaps, he finally does this. Temporary insanity. And this is a Robin and younger Batgirl. Grayson, Robin, and Batgirl.
Who
And
got
Joker
killed
does it.
did the Joker because Superman is not around. It's weird. It's a good story. It's a good outdoor story.
Yeah. This is why I think it's virtually impossible to create a shared universe in the same way that Snyder haters think they want. Yeah, because, well, first off, here's the
I
thing.
mean, it's impossible. It's not impossible. You just need
Here's the problem.
One at a
Tevye.
time. One at a time.
Here's the
Okay.
problem. Okay, so assuming superhero fatigue is real, which to a
It's
degree, well, yeah,
To a
I
degree.
agree with you, but to a certain degree it is, but it's just bad movies. Here's
Bad
the
movies,
problem.
yeah.
The general audience was really burnt out on these types of movies, and the way the general audience thinks, they'll think, I don't want to see a superhero movie anymore. And you could say, okay, well, DC is taking a year off until Superman comes out in terms of theatrical movies. The problem with that is that Marvel is still releasing movies, and if these movies continue to bomb, the audience is going to see all superhero movies under the same library. Hell,
By association.
people still ask if Batman's on the Avengers.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they still ask that, dude. Because remember, these are not people that read comics. These are the people that just go to the movies. So they don't know. They don't know who Marvel owns and who DC owns. And this is my problem with James Gunn. He is hype. I think he is hyping the audience up for something that may not happen. He's overestimating it because as much as I get that people want to be excited, because for the longest time there hasn't been much excitement in the DC movie world. The problem is people are being too overly optimistic to the point of where. Thank you. To the point. I'm sorry. That's a fantastic thumbnail, Jay. But
I made this a year ago. That's the thing. I made this even before James didn't even announce it.
Why haven't we got crossover movie? I want a crossover, damn it.
Yeah. The problem with that is that when you're being overly optimistic, you're just setting yourself up for more disappointment. Master Sergeant makes up a good point. To stay pure to the characters, it means going full corny, impractical behavior, and unexplainable costumes. Yeah, exactly. You can't go 100% a comic accurate with these characters. It's like the same thing with it's like the same thing with like Man of Steel. While people were complaining, why is the suit muted? Because and why aren't there trunks? Because the general audience thinks those are stupid. There's a reason why they're a joke in nearly any other thing where people are like, I don't want to be a superhero. They wear their underwear on the outside of their pants.
The only difference between that now, again,
once again, that's a straw man reference. Now that know that.
But no one either knows it's a reference to it. They just see it as underwear, or it's a reference that arguably has outlived its usefulness.
Fair point. I have to call spade.
It's not going to work because the number. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a story. I was watching. Okay, so I was bored. I want to be clarifying this. You know that movie that's on Netflix called We Can Be Heroes? It's basically a more kid-oriented superhero movie.
Yeah,
you had to be really bored to watch that.
I was really bored to watch that, but again, they made the joke. We can't be superheroes. They wear underwear on the outside of their pants, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's partly what inspired me to make the whole put the trunks in the inside of the costume. Because I get it's the strongman reference. But the thing about the strongman in the pictures that I see, they just wore the underwear. They didn't put it on the outside of their pants. That's why it looks freaking stupid.
Technically speaking, the superhero actually look in animation. They look fantastic.
Some of them look good. Some of them, again, it depends on how it's drawn. The problem is the way it's done now, unless they just make it a red coloration and in no way separate the color from like the costume, make it look like Trunks, I don't think it'll work because they've tried this many times. If you look at going back to the 90s, because when they were trying to make Superman Lives, they were talking about the suit and they go, no, we're not doing the underwear on the outside because it looks freaking stupid. And they're right, it does.
You know, I hate the mask, but without it, was good than a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
you can get away with a mask a lot more than you could with a straw man reference. I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah, it's fun. But even though Titans, the Titans seems really bad, but even Titans did the mask great.
Titans? Say what you want about Titans.
Yeah.
The suits look freaking dope.
Except Starfire's.
Except when she got a suit, it actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Because here's the thing.
Try on what going on with the hell.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The one thing I will say, I would have preferred if they could do the for a Nightwing the like sticks on the back. But I get why they couldn't do it because the way the suit was designed, the actor couldn't reach back. So I'm at that point, I'm like, okay, I get there's an actual reason for that. And then he said, until Snyder showed Kryptonians and capes as part of their traditional attire, what was the purpose of Superman's cape? The purpose of, I believe, in Tevi, you can correct me on this, but isn't the cape like the blanket he arrived in?
Yeah. Yes. So.
Yeah, that was like where the cape came from, and that's like where like the idea of the cape came from, and how Jordan flies on the cape. Yeah, no capes.
We've gone this long without an Incredibles reference. Huh?
We've gone this long somehow. We have, and we've talked about superhero costumes. That's the hilarious part.
With the cover action, it's the perfect for a movie. That's it. Blueprint.
Yeah, it actually is a fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
It's a fantastic Four movie.
Dr. Doom.
And then Master gets. I bet Hal Jordan had a blankie too. Hal Jordan arguably has one of the best superhero costumes ever. By the way, I'm just gonna say that.
Hal Jordan, John Stewart,
Kyle Rayner, Cruz. They all. I like Cruz because she actually has a projection of a Green Lantern on her eye. I always love that.
She's awesome. She's my favorite new character.
Yeah, me too, Tevia. Me too, 100%. Say what you.
Does anyone even use Simon Baz anymore? Like, I'm genuinely curious.
I like him too. That was one of my favorite Rebirth books. You guys know how down I am on Rebirth, right? But even on Legacy, where we talked about how Rebirth like flopped, I cut in. I said there are some books that were really good. Tom King's Batman. I will give him that. I enjoyed Tom King's Batman.
I'm super
up till issue 50.
Not Super Sons, but Lanterns. Both Green Lanterns books, for that matter, because both were fantastic. I was like,
one at a time, Jared.
But 100% that those are great. And so the thing about Jessica Cruz, the reason why she worked for me is because to a certain degree, until I like did more research, but like when you look at it from the outside, a lot of these Lanterns are pretty much the same character per se.
Yeah.
Cruz, they did a lot to like separate her from the Lanterns. Like at first she was Power Ring, but even when you look at her origin, and they say this in the first volume, Rage Planet, where she's like, I'm supposed to be a Green Lantern, supposed to be able to overcome fear. That's in the oath, but I'm afraid to leave my house.
Yep.
And she can't even make a construct. And then when she finally makes a construct, it's this tiny flower. That's enough to motivate her to go toe-to-toe with Atrocitus and throw him around like a freaking rag doll.
So awesome, badass.
I was like, yes! Yes!
Yeah. Also, another thing I like after we take the crew is that we get to see properly begin to heal with our own love. She actually went through hell.
Yeah.
Literally,
she earned that ring. She earned that ring. By the way, McFarlane, where's my Jessica Cruz action figure?
Yeah, what the hell?
Where's Mattel had it? Where is my Jessica Cruz? Because if you make one, I'll take 5.
He will do it. Have you seen his Hot Toys collection? He'll do it.
Exactly. I got a new one I got Captain America.
Yeah.
Mjolnir.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Captain America, I completely forgot about it during the last stream. Get this. Captain America. Well, the other Captain America, Captain Hydra, he came back. I'm not joking.
Who came back?
Captain Hydra.
Oh God.
He came back in Uncanny Avengers.
Good reason to quit Marvel again. Just saying it now.
No, hear me. That's how he came back. Yes.
Okay, multiverse.
Nope.
Time travel.
Nope.
Okay.
Alternate reality shenanigans.
Nope.
Okay, let's keep going. This is a fun game. Let's keep going. I'm thinking of all the way. I got it. Clones.
Sort of.
Wait. Did they use the Krakoa resurrection protocols?
No. Well, I think they the Orcus. Orcus did it.
Oh God. No. By the way, Jay Heat, you know what we need for both of our streams at this point? We need that clip of Darth Vader when he first puts the suit on episode 3 and he goes, no! That's what we need.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh. And the sad part is that the Straczynski cap run is actually pretty good.
Yeah, but these Uncanny Avengers.
Well, I know what book I'm not reading. Nope. Because that made Jay Heat and I quit Marvel for years. I was like, nope.
I still haven't picked up a Marvel comic to this day.
I treat Secret Empire as an Elseworlds book.
Yeah,
because when you treat it like an Elseworlds book, it's a good book. When it's in context,
it's a mess. Especially the main Spider book is bad. It's
Yeah.
It's breaking me at the
I'm just like, no. But if I take it as like an Elseworlds book, I can enjoy it better. It's kind of funny. When I was interviewing Rob from Comics Explained, and we were talking about Secret Empire, Jay Heat said something, and then Rob was like, "Oh my gosh, Jay Heat, you're a smart guy." Then when I said, Rob, he doesn't like it, his Secret Empire is what made him leave Marvel, he goes, "I retract my compliment, Jay Heat."
That's funny.
That was a great one. That was a great
Yeah.
one.
But hey, Comics Explained is welcome on the channel anytime. I can
Hell
have any debate with
yeah.
him.
Yep.
Nemo says, do you guys no Grant Rogers has returned to the X-Men. Who's Grant
I'm
Rogers?
skeptical. I'm
Who?
skeptical.
Who's
Who's
that?
Grant Rogers, Jay Heat?
Grant Rogers worked on the X-Men, I believe, in the late 90s, early 2000s, I want to say. He
Was
did
it
like
good
one
stuff?
It was
Or-
all right. He was no
or the
Claremont,
Chuck
but
Austin stuff.
Mm-hmm.
he was no Claremont, but he was pretty good on. He was part of the creative team.
At least they're bringing back classic talent, which that's what the
Yeah.
Big Two's problem is, because most of the he means evil Captain America. Yeah, we were just talking about
Yeah,
that.
Captain America.
Or you mean Stevel, as people call him? I will from now on call him Stevel.
Which I don't get why you could bring him back in the Uncanny Avengers. Like
Clickbait, Tevia. Clickbait.
Like, why?
Clickbait. I'm telling you, it's clickbait.
That's true.
They're so desperate for sales that they're going to bring back literally the worst decision for main Captain America in the past like
25
5
years.
years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd argue
I
25
was
years.
happy he got killed. Then the Sweeney.
Say what you will about Civil War and all these contrived
And Civil War 2.
stories, but not
Mm-hmm.
even Ed Brubaker's Captain America run would have done something that freaking stupid.
No,
Yeah.
because Ed Brubaker's Captain America was solid.
Oh, solid book.
Arguably perfection.
Arguably.
Nick Spencer Captain America one had the idea. It's just my issue with it, I think, with the Secret Empire ending. Like, what? I thought he was mind control and brainwashed by Red Skull.
Well,
mind
that was the
control, right?
original thing. It's just remember they changed like the ending at the last moment according to Sal from Comic Pop, and he was like, "What probably happened? The ending leaked, and they were like, they saw the reaction to the whole Hail Hydra thing, and they were like, oh no." Change it. Have a good Steve show up and punch him in the face. And he knows it changed because in an interview pre-Secret Empire,
Yeah.
Spencer said it's not like a good Steve is going to show up and punch evil Steve.
I was fine with that because when that bald, I think, okay, he's brainwashed. Fine. I'm all for that. But that's a good idea. That's a cool story. And after the comic you and Captain Falcon, what's going on, I say today. I'm awesome, but oh yeah, see now Marvel.
Did you just call Sam Wilson Captain Falcon?
Yep.
That would be a bit.
fun.
That was hilarious. Now all of a sudden, whenever he throws the shield, I want Sam to go Falcon punch.
Indeed.
Check
But-
the private chat.
Bringing it back is like the
Secret
worst.
Empire
thing.
Armageddon 2001 from Marvel.
Kind
Yeah,
Because
of.
remember,
yeah.
the ending leaked for that comic too.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
kind
original
of.
plan for that story was probably Captain Adam with Monarch.
Originally.
Originally, yeah.
They changed it to Hawk for some reason, and
Yeah, it is stupid.
Of all the characters you could have picked, Hawk.
Why Hawk? Like, why not make it? I don't know.
You could have made
Someone.
it Batman and it would have made
You-
sense.
You come in Wave Rider.
That would have been good. That would have been so Inception that's Wave Rider this whole
True.
time. Oh,
It would've been
jeez.
something.
It would have been cool, though. Like, Wave Rider came back to the future and then ruled the world. That would have been cool.
Yeah, but he back in the past to stop Monarch from taking over the entire world.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
like,
Because he has to
oh,
go back
it's
and
me.
send...
I did it. Me.
Yeah, because he has to go back and send himself back into the past because otherwise he doesn't exist.
Yeah. Even though
Okay,
that
which is
comic
a worse
good,
comic event? Secret
Yeah.
Empire, Gotham War, Countdown, or Civil
Future's
War
End.
2?
Gotham War.
Out of all of those, I'm including Countdown and Armageddon 2001.
Wait. Can we also put Future's End?
Now that's a different tier in its entirety.
Different tier. It doesn't even deserve. It's so bad. It doesn't even deserve to be in this list. That says a lot.
That's true.
Okay. Gotham War, I would say, is wasted potential. It's definitely bad. I'm not going to refute it. It's bad.
Yeah.
but I wouldn't call it the worst modern comic in the line. Not by any stretch.
The minute you have Jason Todd siding with criminals,
Well, that's actually more likely than you
the
think.
minute you have Dick Grayson siding with criminals and Barbara Gordon siding with criminals, that's when I'm like, okay, you know what? Zdarsky and Zdarsky, you had me with your Batman run because it was actually pretty good. Now you lost me.
I don't know if it was a direct collaboration. I don't know if it was a direct collaboration or if just editorial forced his hand with Tim Howard.
Regardless, whoever was in charge of that deserves to be kicked out of the office.
Yeah.
As for Countdown, are we talking about Countdown to Infinite Crisis?
Yes.
Countdown to Final Crisis.
Countdown Final Crisis.
Was the Final Crisis? Well,
Yeah.
That was bad. And I'm gonna give you a sentence that justifies that. You know what was part of Countdown? Amazon's Attack. Jay Heat's favorite Wonder Woman story.
My favorite Wonder Woman story is actually Jeff Perez's Omnibus.
Jeff Perez?
George Perez.
Jeff Perez? Wait a second, Jay Heat.
George Perez. I had Jeff Johns.
Is that some like twin brother of Jeff Johns and George Perez that no one knew about that also happens to write comics pretty well?
Don't tempt me, Jared. I know your weakness. Don't tempt me.
Yeah, but as soon as I found out
my mouse
that was
is on
part
standby.
of it, yeah, I know. As soon as I found out that was part of it, I was like, yeah, that's bad. Then what was the other one, Jay Heat?
Okay, Armageddon, Countdown, Gotham War. Oh, Secret Empire and Civil War 2.
Civil War 2. The problem with Civil War 2 is that it's a good concept, piss poor execution. Because the whole thought crime thing actually makes sense. The problem is when everyone gets all zealous on all of a sudden, oh no, we have to listen to Ezekiel. The problem is they say this even after he gets an incident wrong. So I'm like,
yeah,
Bendis, you're violating your own logic, which is kind of funny. Wait. Bendis has a reputation for ignoring continuity. The funny part is that in this story, he literally ignores his own continuity. That's the stupid part here.
Also, the one thing in that story, besides the mind that did horrible, but Ulysses, he's not a good turner. He's not a damn bad turner. I don't like. He's not any boy. Sitting with the only, those are horrible. And so no wait. Benedict Niggers in that murder too. Shit. Okay, bad example. That story made up fucking sound. I think for any kid to join Captain Marvel. Also, Peter Parker's trying to join Captain Marvel. Are you nuts? What the hell did he join that psycho? Wait a minute. I remember something. Peter Parker did jack and shit in Civil War 2. He did nothing in that event. Where was he? I'm confused. Where was he in that story?
Where was who?
Peter Parker Spider-Man.
He didn't do anything in Civil War.
He didn't do anything. That was Miles.
Yeah, that confused me because in his time, he joined Captain Marvel kill damage. But we don't see him in the actual event.
Well, Peter Parker chose.
He wants to arrest his fellow Spider-Man. The funny part, by the way, of the problem with Secret Invasion, and this is more is Secret Empire, and this is more on like who.
Freudian slip.
No, it's more on like Mark Brooks because the cover has Spider-Man front and center, but Peter Parker is like not in that story at all.
Yeah, he's very.
So I'm like, wait a minute here, dude.
That's grounds for false advertisement, but that's a separate conversation.
Like, wait a second. But you still Peter Parker Spider-Man in Civil War 2 and cover you done nothing. In Secret Empire, you get nothing except for duck off. And that terrible Titan story with Dan Schwartz, because that was bad. But you barely show him at the end of the very end. What's the point of having to do something in the band? You got nothing.
But Tevia's rant aside, the last time they used Peter Parker in this particular type of story, they decided to add on an editorial mandate to expose Peter's identity or make him go public to boost sales. No, One More Day was a byproduct of this.
No,
That happened.
this happened in Civil War.
Yeah, Civil
And
War,
at
yeah.
least in that, here's why that was done better than when Bendis exposed Superman's identity.
I hate
Because
it.
at least there were consequences when Spider-Man exposed his identity. When
True.
Superman did it, nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
No one
There's
bombed the
nothing-
Daily Planet. No one
nobody
attacked
didn't attack
Smallville.
him.
No one kidnapped Lois Lane.
No one kidnapped John.
No one kidnapped John.
Well,
except
Ultraman
for-
did that. Ultraman did that.
Yeah, that made me angry.
No. First, it was Superman's father, Jor-El, who was back
Yeah,
for
Mr. Odd,
reasons.
which
But
is stupid.
the point is, there were no stakes for this. And I'm like, then why did you do it? And to quote Bendis, he basically said, well, writing secret identities is hard and I don't like it. Then why are you writing Superman?
Why
who-
not Superman?
who an
You said
important
why
part of his
Superman.
character, Tevye knows this, an
Yeah.
important part of his character is the Superman Clark Kent like thing.
That's been a thing since the 40s. You can't get rid of that. That's the quarterback of the Twitter. Same with Spider-Man.
Well,
Right.
5G, Tevye, I'll let you rant in a minute. But 5G did play a role in that. That was just something he did to cover his behind when he was on the spot in the interview. 5G still
Well,
plays a factor at the end of the day.
It failed. Because 5G
Here's the thing,
bad idea.
Tevye. Technically, 5G didn't fail because it never came out.
Oh yeah, that's true. It did never come out.
Wait, wasn't there a specific Marvel comic that everyone hated, but so badly that it never
Haha,
got
you mean
released?
Snowflake and Safe Space, New Warriors?
yeah,
You
New
mean the
Warriors
experimental internet gas, Jay Heat? Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about being negative? You're talking about Trailblazer?
Actually, I can find that comic. Hang on.
Oh God!
I believe the
You
banner
know what's
speaks for
hilarious?
itself.
There are people that are saying, actually release the comics so you can know if it's bad or not. Just dump
Found
it
it.
on Marvel Unlimited and let's see what
Found
it looks
it.
like. Oh God. Yeah, what happened to this thing? Yeah.
But yeah, but it's no reason.
Never saw the light of day.
Never saw
Yep.
Wait. Pause here.
Okay.
Snowflake and Safe Space are brother and sister. What brother and sister hold each other so intimately like that?
That was weird.
Bendis's
I
Wonder
thought-
Twins run.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And wait
yeah,
a second.
yeah.
Wait a second. The writer also said that like Safe Space is the stereotypical like jock. What jock has pink hair?
Gee, that's not familiar. It all sounds like
Stereotypical jock? Sorry.
Yeah, that's bullshit. He looks like Jay Nakamura except different ways. Oh my god!
Wait.
Was this
Wait,
before Jay
wait, what
Nakamura was a thing?
Hmm?
I have
Wait,
no
how
idea.
did Jay Nakamura get into this?
Because
Pink
Jay
hair,
Nakamura had
pink hair, J Heat.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
It's on topic, so I'll allow it. It's on
Yeah.
there. But it's like ignoring that, and then I just love how like the video keeps progressing. Then he goes like, "Okay, screen time." He is exposed
Yep.
to his grandfather's internet
Yeah,
gas.
yes.
Now, Lad's a co-founder of Comics League and an engineer. I turn to him and go, "Lad, you're an engineer. What the hell is internet gas?" And he goes, "I don't know."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
him.
there you go. Screen time.
Like, how did that hell the internet gas work?
You know what's
Oh,
bad
it's great.
when the
That's
writer
always great.
said I had seen those books, but they just look too cool for me. That was his
Yeah.
wording.
I never use this word lightly. I never use this word I actually dread saying this word, but I'm gonna say it. Simp!
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, can I say, as much as this term is thrown around and abused, this is woke.
Yeah, it is. But-
This is the definition of woke right here.
The only
When you-
character I like would be negative. They only had an interesting backstory.
And be negative is such a basic name. You could have gone with Morbin.
True. Actually, you know what?
Thank
Wait,
you.
funny.
his name is Norman and his code name is Morbin.
Yeah,
Thank
if
you.
negative,
Thank you. I'll be
it's
here all
And
week.
then, and then when he dresses in his costume, he goes, "It's Morbin time."
That was funny.
Thanks for the setup, Jared. Thank you.
You set me up so well for that, dude. It was just a layup. It was a layup right there. Oh, and then Trailblazer has basically a D&D bag of holding. It's a magic backpack.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
It's
Sure,
back,
it works,
back,
yeah.
back.
Weird.
It's just so. all these ideas are so stupid. That's and then he even said
Oh.
the problem with being negative, Tevia, is that the writer says it's just a stereotypical like vampire kid.
Yep.
It's essentially, here's the problem with the book. All these things in their efforts to be representative, they were
There's nothing wrong with
nothing wrong with that when done well, i.e. Jessica Cruz, to bring this hashtag full circle.
Hogan Wigan, they're a gay couple, and I love this kid.
Apollo Midnight, exactly.
Apollo Midnight. Yep, them too.
But when you do
Pre-Flashpoint
this,
Batwoman. There are so many examples. Hey,
Batwoman,
right?
when you
What was that one Marvel comic? Who was on Marvel character who was on the X-Men and one of the first openly gay characters?
No,
Knights-
sorry, hang on.
Thanks, so.
well, remember in terms of the X-Men, remember that Bendis taking heat because he had young Jean Grey basically go to
Oust.
Bobby
Oh yeah,
out
that's
Bobby.
bullshit.
And the stupid part about it is that you can argue she's not
Right.
really gay. She just implanted the suggestion that he was. Yeah, there you go. The
should be
problem
one.
is when they, and to quote Dan Slott, and I'm sorry, Jay Heat, I have to mention that it's hard to bring up original characters because the audience may not like them. And I'm like,
Okay,
if you actually have
Hold
talent
on.
behind it, yeah. Go ahead, Jay Heat.
hold on. I never do this. I never do this, but this needs to be said. I never do this, but this needs to be said.
The second time this has happened. But go on.
This is my rant now.
Oh yeah, here we
Oh,
go.
this
Let's
will be
do
fun.
this. Bring the fire, Jay Heat.
Yep.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
I appreciate that reference. Thank you, Jared.
Go.
But if you're okay, first of all, hashtag please go indie. Please do your own thing. Don't
Yeah.
settle for scratch for the big two.
Yeah.
Let me just say that before anything else. Second, when it comes to originality and innovation, have some freaking balls.
That was great.
That was great. Hang on.
I just love that. It's Jay Heat. The funny part about that, when he said, "Have you?" I thought you were going to go on after you said, "Have some freaking balls." No, you just stopped it there. I love that. That's the funny part. Just that pause afterwards.
Yeah.
That was great. Jay Heat's like the one dude that when he goes on a rant, he could say like three or four words, and it's still funny.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Continue, rant.
Do you have anything else you want to say, Blazing?
Yeah, come on.
Might as well, but come on, just take a risk above anything, whether it be relationships, whether it be taking a job offer, whether it be an interview, anything worth striving for in life. Take a risk.
But Jay Heat, the fans could reject it and freak out
fan
on Twitter.
expectation's always a pain in the ass. Hell, even
Yeah,
Twitter's
yeah.
a
But
glorified
Jay Heat,
hypocrite.
I won't get likes on Twitter.
Hey, what's more important, likes on Twitter or making money? Which one you want?
But
Yeah,
which one you want?
but Jay Heat, I'm Dan Slott.
Let me know
I
in the
live on
comments.
Twitter.
Then get a life. Then get a new life. Case in point.
Yep. But
That's
gee,
great.
if I make this kid have to like go crazy or go at the insane and give a new kid at the money, I won't get paid.
If you're already signed to do something, then by all means make the best of a bad situation. But if not, you're already a
Jay
hack.
Heat.
Accept you're a hack and just move on.
But Jay Heat, we have to be inclusive to everyone, because remember, comics have never been diverse before me. They have never had diverse characters before now.
Then what's the point of having a business?
Also,
And your
also, that's an objective lie, because
a lie.
the X-Men exist.
Heck, it's not just the X-Men. We all have the authority.
X-Men,
to watch
Apollo
one.
Midnighter,
Yep.
Flashpoint Batwoman.
Fantastic Four,
The
Vertigo
Batwoman,
line.
Wonder Woman, Cyborg.
Cyborg, Black Panther.
The
Static
Vertigo
Shock.
line in
That-
general.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Green Lanterns,
Green Lantern Corps. Yep. What's another team?
the Bat Family.
Spawn. We have Spawn.
Spawn!
Right now. Squad.
Actually, pretty
the-
dope.
the
I love that
Valiant-
book.
Yeah. I heard King's Spawn meeting. The Valiant comics with Daredevil roster with
Shang-Chi,
Spider-Man.
Mortal Kombat.
But my point is, anyone that
Freaking
tells you,
hell.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh.
Anyone that tells you that comics have always been just for straight white people, I'm going to tell you right there, Jay, do you mind soloing me?
By all means.
That's a lie right there. Okay.
No.
And you don't even have to look back that far to really get. Here's the thing. Wonder Woman was created like in the 40s.
Yep.
Roughly around there. John Stewart in the 70s. So if you're trying to tell me that comics have always been just for white people, I'm sorry, you're just excusing your own hack talent.
Yep.
Barry, I love how this went from a review of Aquaman to a rant about the comic book industry.
Yeah. This one is doing director altogether.
I love it. This is great.
Too.
But that's all. That's just what I want to say.
Yep.
Well, we might as well add more fuel to the fire. Tevia, go nuts.
Oh, here we go.
Like I said before, and John, like doing the comic is not a new thing. We've been doing it since the 1960s and 70s and the 80s, even the 90s. Steady Boy the night. I know 90s were bad damn comics, but the 90s did give us a good shit. As I made before with my channel, Spider-Girl Mania Parker. My favorite character in Marvel period. She is my favorite character more because one, she's the daughter of Mary Jane. That's one. Two, yes, she's a female. She earned the Man of Spider-Man for decades. She was my character. She was my favorite character in Marvel, period. I thought she was Spider-Man next time to John. Both characters were great for different reasons. And both characters actually earned the of their party. Well, okay. But John, that's a different topic there. But,
yeah, John obviously hasn't really got the opportunity to earn the title of Superman yet.
True. I remember Superboy.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. You my point. But both Spider-Man Parker and John actually both raised together.
Yeah, those are great characters. The problem is when they tell me, "Oh, you have to like this character." It's like when Tom King is pitching the Solver to people, and he goes, "Oh, he's Wonder Woman's Joker." Don't tell me that.
Yeah,
let me decide if she's like Wonder Woman's Joker, because that's essentially saying. Because that's telling the fans you will like this character. Yeah, go ahead, Jade.
Show, don't tell.
Yeah, I get that. That's like apparently impossible. And the problem is, I've read great Tom King books, Mr. Miracle, Batman. I've read good Tom King's books. I know he's capable of Supergirl. I know he's capable of Superman for that matter.
Yeah,
I know
book was good.
I know he's capable of. I know he understands this stuff. It's just for some reason he doesn't get it. He doesn't show me it.
Yeah, another bad example. Tom Taylor at the 2 books. I know Ben Junkin. I know it's been out every year, but another bad book. Titans is a mess because
wait. Are we talking about the Rebirth Titans or current Titans?
He's talking about Tom Taylor's Titans.
Okay, Tom Taylor's Titans. Okay, thank you.
Current Titans, it's so boring. I don't care about the. Okay,
I read the first issue, Tevia. I read the first issue, Tevia, and I'm right there with you. There's a reason why it's not on my poll list because I'm like, what just happened? But on that, and actually, Nerdette brought up a good point when I talked to her. Is like the thing about Tom Taylor is he is a Tom. Well, actually, yes. The thing about Tom King, he is a Tom Taylor. He writes best when he's in Elseworlds books. That's it. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. If you have a talent, and obviously it works, go for it.
Go for it.
Some people just can't do in continuity books, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. Because Tom Taylor has written some of those iconic DC Elseworld stories of all time. Objectively, Tom King, most of the books that are being adapted for DCU are based on his Elseworld stuff.
Yeah, granted, he wrote Omega Man, just the DCU. I know DCU, I did a failure there, but
technically, Omega Man goes far back as the Silver Age, but there was a revamp in the
revamp. But my point is, these two guys, they're talented writers. They just write best in a certain context, and that's fine.
Yeah, they were playing
in no
outdoor
way
stuff.
am I saying they're horrible writers, because objectively
no,
they're
no, no,
not.
no, no, no,
They're
no.
not.
No.
I've even read Tom Taylor in continuity books I enjoyed. I read the first volume of his Nightwing run, and I like that.
No, it's very good. I give it that.
First volume's good. But it's like Deceased. Deceased is freaking
It's
amazing.
more zombie done right.
That
They
is
did more done right.
literally my favorite DC Elseworld story. That one
Yeah.
volume right there, because the way he because he has a beginning, middle, and a definitive end, and the way it ends in that book is
epic.
amazing.
It's badass. I want to
So, yeah,
ending to a zombie story.
it's heavy. How it ends with a Super Sons moment.
Yeah, it made me happy because I got a Super Sons moment done right. It was amazing. This
Well, here's the thing.
Super Sons story, not to hope it will end.
Here's the thing, Tevia, you and I have talked about this. You know, I don't have the highest opinion of John Kent in the current comics forever.
Yeah,
like,
same.
period.
I'm still
Young, old, I don't like the character. I like him in that. I have liked him in. That's why. That's what. And I said this when I talked about John Kent needed work on my video, because I was like, wait a second. It's not like this character's a bad character, and it's not like this writer's a bad writer because he's done it well in Deceased.
He's got one Deceased, but it's great. What is crazy? He wrote John Great Deceased.
I will play devil's advocate. I will play devil's advocate. Usually I don't talk about Super Sons very often, but I will play devil's advocate here. John had a lot of momentum with Super Sons, but but Damian Wayne and Clark Kent were carrying a lot of that. Let's be honest.
So,
and the problem with Super Sons, and here's the thing: the book had a great. I'm talking about the comic. The book had a great debut issue, 100% great, and great
amazing.
sales, 99,000 copies. That's something to be proud of.
Yep.
The problem is immediately in issue 2, it like.
It did, but he'd have been more comic do that all the time.
No, but I get that. But it continued to drop. It's not like it dropped and then went up and then dropped, because that's what Superman and Wonder Woman did. It went up
all the
down,
time,
up, down, a little bit on the time, and that's a healthy series that's going to happen. It was always going down, and it to a point where it never, not even when it went to Adventures of Super Sons, it didn't get above 30,000. That's why they let Bendis do what he did and kept it, because I got news for you. I've seen because the sales were because they probably looked at it and were like, okay, he's not, obviously he keeps declining in this current state. Now, were they justified in their thinking? Hell no, because they were very simplistic. But the way they were thinking of is, okay, he's not doing well as a kid. He didn't do well sales-wise as a kid. Bendis aged him up. Let's try this. And then what probably happened is that it probably saw, and Jay, you can answer this if you can. Were the sales for John as an adult larger than in Super Sons?
No. Are we talking about Super Sons in general, like all 3 volumes, or just the first one?
Let's say the first one. Let's start with the first one.
Not even close to that 99,000. I say
from issue 2 and on.
From issue 2 and on, no. But even if you fact the most this issue got, the most adult aged up John Kent got, or young adult, or however you want to interpret it. Issue 5, which was the National Coming Out Day issue.
Got a bad idea.
And promotion that came from it. Let me cook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That roughly peaked at 75 to 80,000 copies.
Speculators.
Minus inflation. Minus after that,
it tanked.
Well, yeah, because everyone saw right through it. Because even Brit said it on our show. She was like, "Yeah, they did." John Kent in that series was just a publicity stunt, so they could have headlines that say Superman's gay. That's the reasons why they did that.
Yep,
which that's exploitative to gay people, and that's extremely insulting.
Not just that, it's also going to be slapped in the face because it proved me more and more that you guys actually don't give a damn, John, at the issue with that man. You just want at the publicity of a bullshit.
They don't, because Tevia, here's the problem. The way he's been written, he's just a carbon copy of Clark. That's the problem.
Not just that, the way it's executed is even worse because Oh my God! You made a 10-year-old who got eaten up, accelerating into a complete not.
Well, Tevia, how about when they hyped up and then wasted Injustice?
Yeah, that made me more.
That I was
pissed off.
like,
I was
he just
angry.
hugs him because again, they have it where he's like, he's winding up, he's gonna punch him. At least in Doomsday Clock, when they tease that, Superman punched someone. He didn't punch
that
Manhattan.
makes sense.
He
That was
punched
awesome.
someone, which was great. But then,
That was awesome.
but then he's like, "Daddy," and I'm like, "What
That-
the hell? That's the evil version of your father." You know what the multiverse is. You were held captive by another evil version of your father.
By madman, a psychopath.
You saw him torture this version of Jay Nakamura, your boyfriend. You're like, Daddy. Yeah, but I'm like, Daddy. And I'm like, what the hell?
Well, I was angry.
I get it from a meta commentary standpoint because strictly from the video game and like Injustice Superman is like compelled to fight, and this was kind of like a subversion. But one, you don't really do a subversion in this context. It doesn't really work as well.
But the other problem is, why doesn't Superman at any point in the Injustice story ever reference? By the way, here's the problem with retconning that John Kent showed up in the Injustice timeline. Not once does Superman mention, by the way, I met my son from another universe.
That makes no
all this
sense.
does.
That's the problem.
All this does is confirm that make them aware that multiverse travel is possible. Clark threatening to go cross over to another Earth.
But he already knew that from Injustice 1.
And Injustice 2.
Well, in Injustice 1, because he said, "Oh yeah, I'll go to your world and show Lois my world. She'll be happy about it."
And then that's Superman, like OG Superman. Then no, she will be at the.
She'll be disgusted and afraid. My point is, he was already aware of the multiverse, so I'm like, this serves zero purpose.
There's nothing. How Ultraman got killed off in that story? Like what?
In like a big, because remember how they hyped that up? They hyped that was in the solicits for issue 1 of that series that he was going to get a rematch. The rematch
said that at NYCC in 2022. I was there.
The rematch lasted 30 seconds and it ended with someone else killing him.
Yeah, and Judge Super killing him because.
And then again. But the problem also with that is, why is there still an Earth 3 Crime Syndicate book coming out when Ultraman's dead, but Ultraman is in the Crime Syndicate book?
Because in every reality, every crisis, every reality shakeup, the Crime Syndicate are one of the main.
No, I understand that
they always come back.
I understand that, Jahid. My issue is that you kill Ultraman here, but he's still alive here when these are ostensibly the same character.
So by that, okay, I'll go ahead and explain. After every crisis or reality-altering shenanigans, a version of the Crime Syndicate is always going to come back into play. That's just how it's always been.
But these are the same versions. These both exist after any reboots or any crises.
Yeah,
that is true. So if you're gonna do, okay, think of it from a commercial business standpoint. So if you're gonna do Dark Crisis, if the Crime Syndicate is gonna come back anyway, why not just go ahead and kick Ultraman down the curb, set him up for a later storyline, and then we can use Injustice to prop up sales.
But the problem is that you kill him. Why is he also in the Crime Syndicate book that's coming out?
I never said it was a good idea. I just said you could make the argument.
It's a stupid idea.
Idea.
I'm just like, and this is the problem with DC editorial. There was zero communication. There was obviously zero communication or coordination.
Who has the better appeal and character? Who demonstrated many character power and strength, pretend to be held for all generations.
The way we did John Kent is we undid all of Bendis. So really, we created a better version. In other words, we fixed DC's issue. Obviously, I'm going to be more impartial to Hippolyta because it's not only the stance of humanity and all that stuff, Nemo, but Hippolyta also has to deal with being the daughter of Superman and Wonder Woman. That's a lot of pressure on a kid. That's the thing about it. And then John Kent, he has to, the cool part about the New Direction verse, because we kept both Clarks, John Kent has an older brother. 52 Superman. Yeah, and that's great. And by
Connor,
the way,
he gets 2 for the price of
He's
1.
Connor. He is an uncle. Uncle
exactly.
Connor.
He's part of it. The
Very
purpose
happy.
of the new direction verse is to show that you didn't have to get rid of one to keep the other. That's my issue with Rebirth chiefly, is that when you read it, it's all screw what came before. Here's this. We're just going back to where we were pre-reboot. And I'm like,
Yep.
even Didio was like, you brought back the things that made Flashpoint necessary. What are you doing?
You build up goodwill. You build up goodwill. You prop up customer base, and you increase sales. It's a short-term solution, but it keeps numbers
Except
up.
here's the thing:
Keep people
it
happy.
didn't bring up sales because Rebirth never reached the same sales as New 52.
But New 52 was
stagnated.
only in the last minute. It stagnated and it crashed and burned.
No, but at least lasted longer at the points where they were. If you take them and put them side by side, at the beginning, Rebirth didn't get the sales boost that New 52 did. Now, granted, there are a lot of reasons why the New 52 got that, partly because of the #1 issues.
True.
But my point is that it consistently, up until like DCU, let's put that as the demarcation line.
2012, 2013, somewhere around there.
Up until that,
2015, crash and burned.
yeah, but my point is, up until that point, New 52 was relatively great. And then, here's the thing about Rebirth. By the way, Rebirth lasted about a year and a half. New
2 years.
52 lasted 5.
5 years. Yeah.
5 years. There was more to work with. And then, by the way, T29 has an interesting comment. There's also an underlying plot in Adventure Super Sons that maybe Ultraman and the Creme Syndicate may have been a clone, or maybe a way to return because of a type of... Yeah, but I don't think they ever explain that. That's the thing. But and that's the thing. But my issue with going back to my previous point, Rebirth, whether or not you like some things from Rebirth, and that's fine. I like the Green Lantern stuff.
I like Superman stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Because there is some good stuff in Rebirth, Batman. But
Superman, Teen Titans.
Yeah, the purpose of Rebirth was screw New 52 and anyone that liked it. That's why I am quite honestly disgusted with Rebirth, because it's one of those occasions of the company attacking fans.
Well, granted, New 52 damn horrible. Superboy, but not New 52.
No, it's Tevia.
That's irrelevant at this point.
Tevia.
Yeah.
I'm not saying New 52 was perfect. I'm just saying you had a solid fan base that was buying the books, and then you told them, go away. We don't want you anymore. How's that working for you, DC? And that's why, honestly, that's why I dropped out of comics for years from 2016 and on, because I saw the writing on the wall. I'm like, okay, I'm not welcome. Thank you. And then when they got rid of Rebirth, that's when I came back in, because I was like, okay, I don't have to worry about feeling bad because I liked Superman and Wonder Woman per se. That's it.
Superman, Wonder Woman, Volume 4 by Tomasi, you are never going to let go, are you?
No. I'm saying because Rebirth made you feel bad for liking the book at all. Volume 1 and on, because they were like, okay, no, that's not true. It's like with Wonder Woman going to Lois. Don't worry.
I love that action comic. Awesome.
With Lois going, it must be weird seeing me with Clark. It's like, no, it just feels true. And I'm like, screw you. What the hell, dude? And it's like Wonder Woman going, I'm not that good at romance, Steve. Since when? You were gonna marry Superman?
Eventually have a new direction.
But then he died.
No, but they were building to that. Or it's like you were madly in love with your Superman. You're like, I was never. And when she's like, being with Clark was easy. Since when? You got exposed to the public as being a couple. You saw what happened with that. You had to fight him when he was trying to freaking Doomsday. When was that ever easy?
Superman doomed.
Regardless of your opinion of Superman doomed, my point is, when was that ever easy?
Good point.
Yeah, thank you. When was that ever easy? That's when I'm like, okay, I saw the writing on the wall, and I'm like, okay, this is all just screw the fans. I'm out. And then, ironically, it was kind of funny when I got back into comics like fully when Comics League was started. That was also about a week or so after they broke up Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor, which was, I liked it. I hated Steve's speech in that because he's basically like, you're never at home and you don't give like time for us. And I'm like, you're a Navy SEAL. If anyone understands being away from home because you're fighting in wars and stuff, you should understand it yourself. By the way, the other thing I really can't stand about the way DC handles Steve Trevor, his military branch changes so often. Like in the Tom King run, he's a Marine. In Rebirth, still in this continuity, mind you, he's a Navy SEAL. And I'm like, either you're transferring branches a lot. Oh, by the way, New 52, he was Air Force.
Yeah,
Either
make
you're
up your mind. Is he Air Force, Navy, or U.S. Army?
Make up your mind. Unless you're transferring services every like couple of years, no one transfers that much. It's the most moronic thing ever. Make up your freaking mind and tell the writers. I'll tell you what. Just have them have like some generic black camouflage uniform. Everyone wears that.
Create a special team like Argus. Make
Arguably,
wasn't Argus destroyed?
It was
by
disbanded.
Bendis. My idea, but never
idea.
Coast Guard. Nice, Master Sergeant. My idea to fix Steve Trevor, take him away from Wonder Woman. Don't put him in the Wonder Woman book anymore because arguably he's out of place. What you could do, here's what you could do. You ready? Take him, Rick Flag, Sergeant Rock, all the military dudes. Put them on a team and have them go like on missions and stuff and tell war stories in a world with superheroes. That is fascinating because they kind of did a sort of idea with that in the New 52 with the Men of War book.
Yeah,
but they could do it better because here, guess what? These are known characters.
Yep. You can also add in Creature Commandos.
Oh, you mean something like this?
Yeah, exactly. You can do Creature Commandos on the team as well. My point is, you could do a military book in a superhero world. That is a fantastic idea. But no, let's just keep them in with Wonder Woman because nostalgia, even though, by the way, news flash, in the run that everyone thinks of when they think of Wonder Woman, that everyone references as the definitive Wonder Woman, he was a father figure and married to Etta Candy. He was not sexually attracted to Diana at all.
Wait.
In the
when
Golden
did
Age.
that happen?
No, Silver Age.
George Perez.
Yeah.
This is post-crisis.
Yeah, excuse me.
Oh, I didn't know about that. That's cool.
Yeah, he was a father figure, and he married Etta Candy in volume, I think, 1 of the George Perez omnibus. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Wait, don't do that. Don't do that for an artist. No.
No, you don't have to. My point is do a version.
Oh, I was just...
Let me ask you this. With my pitch, Jay Heat and Tevia, would you read that book?
Yes. I would check it out.
At least try. That's my point. For Jay Heat's point, have some balls. Take a risk. Because arguably, this could work out really because you're taking a character. Because here's the thing. Notice, even with Lois Lane, because you could do a pretty cool, like, investigative journalist book. I know Rocka tried it, but she was... But wait. Here was the problem with that, Tevia. The thing she was investigating, somehow she got aware that the multiverse and the reboots happened. That was my problem.
How I made.
Yeah, exactly. But what she could do is do like more of like a normal grounded investigative crime idea. Then you could show me how great Lois Lane apparently is. But
also, they're adding the question, which fine. I was very happy. But
yeah, you could even have her team up with the question. Lois Lane, the question. There you go. That's the title of the book. And you could do that. You could also, T brings up a good point. You could bring in Darwin Cook's characters, the losers. You could do that.
Yeah,
100%. You have so many ideas on how to take these characters that don't work in their current situation and making them work. And guess what? It doesn't involve any reboots. It doesn't involve any real effort, mind you. You just have to put them in. Essentially, here's what it is. It's a puzzle, and you have these pieces in the wrong spot. If you take them and put them in the right spot, you get a complete picture. Plus, here's what you could do. Here's what the military book does. you put a little more of genre variety in superhero books. Because that's very hard to do because it's just superheroes punching people. But a military book of regular soldiers doing stuff in a superhero world, that is something that either doesn't happen or hasn't happened.
The only time it happened, in comics and either the comic is of Shield, but from Marvel.
And I do like that. I'm talking about, well, let me clarify. I mean, the DCU universe. It's a rare idea. The closest they get is the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, sure.
But arguably, those are still superpowered people. I'm talking about just regular guys with regular guns, just doing regular military stuff, stopping terrorists, doing this, doing this, doing this.
Stopping Cobra.
Stopping the League of Assassins. You could have them fight Ra's al Ghul. There's any number of things. You can even call the book Shadow War.
Well, no, Shadow War.
That was already taken. My point is, there is an infinite number of frontiers. I'm using that as a pun. There's an infinite frontier of ideas that you could use there.
Hey, we actually kind of got that second ago and put credit with the GCPD.
Exactly. The Brubaker GCPD run, exactly. You have so many examples of this done so well, and it's held up as some of the best comics in the industry.
I never read it, but it is amazing. I do want to get that book someday.
100%. You had Grayson when they turned Nightwing into a freaking spy.
Yeah, he's here with the Midnight, shocking enough, but that did not. No, Midnight time.
James Bond.
Yeah, exactly. Grayson, Dick Grayson, and everyone starts making those jokes. But
Agent of Spiral, but not really.
In conclusion, the only way that really screwed up was Helen Bertinelli. I hated that. I hated the Bertinelli Huntress in that until they fixed her. But my point is, there is any number of ways you could take these characters that are either stagnant or downright damaged or downright abhorred and loathed, like me with Lois, and you can make it really well. Or the current version of John Kent. Because what you could do is have John Kent go, you know what? I don't want to be Superman because I want to be able to be my own superhero.
No, I have a better idea.
Yeah.
They find an imposter, a fake from Earth 3. Real John is trying to stay trying to be safe.
You could do that, but I'm just saying, if you couldn't do that, let's say DC editorial said you can't do that. You have to stick with this John. You could just, the first stage, give him his own identity.
If I had to stick with this imposter of Johnny mad, but if I have no choice, fine. I have no choice. I have to stick with the imposter.
Scion, perhaps? Hey, I'll take that sponsorship.
And by the way, T29, DC has a number of war books. They have a history of doing war comics. So there's no way they couldn't make this work. And Master Sergeant, for what I have read, the companies became so desperate to sell books and to create new material that they went off the deep end. The hopes. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. They threw spaghetti at a wall and hoped something sticks. And then Nemo says, "Oh, Barry Tevye, what do you think of the evil Super Sons?"
Oh yeah, Change the Sons. I'm not looking for that book. Two main factors. One, it's something different. Two, even though it's not my team, I'm so excited this new book because it's kind of the Super Sons because it's General Zod's son and Sinestra's son. I think that can work.
But do General Zod and Sinestro hang out? Part of why the Super Sons idea was proposed was because Superman and Batman are like best friends. So what would happen if they both had kids? That's why I get what Tomasi's doing. By the way, this is my issue with Tomasi and Jurgens. From what I see, and this is just my perception, they seem to be one-trick ponies because you notice whenever Jurgens writes Superman, Doomsday or the death of Superman has to factor in some way. Whenever Tomasi does anything, a kid/mini version of the main character has to factor in some way.
Technically speaking, General Zod's son and acting staff at the in Danger Action Comics run. We just see him after he come back in that story. Which is a great book. Good story.
Yeah, but my point is, they keep doing the same thing over and over again. Which, by the way, It's kind of funny. As much as I can't stand Tomasi, the way he was treated at DC, can you blame him going exclusive with Ghost Machine?
I'm on his on that one.
I do not blame him at all. He's like, you know what? Screw you guys. You guys took, because here's the thing. They took the book away from him and because they wanted to kowtow to Bendis. And I'm like, okay, as much as I don't like Tomasi, even I'll admit, you did the guy dirty. Let the guy.
I gave you my favorite one ever seen, man, and you threw it over Bendis with the
One at a time. Tevia.
The way I would have done it, let the man finish his story, and then you can go, because that's the way it was with Green Lantern per se. They ended it with the Jeff Johns ended his run. Someone else took over. Granted, I hated the Grant. I am in no way interested in checking out the Grant Morrison run of Green Lantern because I've heard he just ignores the good parts of the Jeff Johns Green Lantern run. So I'm like,
not just that. He also knows Green Lantern as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marvel did G.I. Joe and the Nam. They're constantly referring to Frank Castle's past in panels. DC also has Sergeant Rock and Black.
That's true.
Both companies have an opportunity to create badass soldier comics. The problem is they won't because a lot of the writers are very anti-soldier. So this is when the writers' personal politics factor in. It's the same thing. Case in point, what Jason Aaron did to Frank Castle.
Did the Punisher.
And I'm like, nope. Sorry, dude.
Like, it's not strong. I like the first half. The finale was good. It's just the ending pissed me off. Like, what?
I hate it when they retconned his past and made it. Oh yeah, Frank Castle was always a psychopath.
Oh yeah,
no.
Monster. Like, what?
Part of the thing, but part of the thing that makes the Punisher great is that he started off as this regular dude. But then his family was killed. If the justice system had worked and taken care of business, he wouldn't have become the Punisher. He would have been like, okay, you know what?
Justice system failed.
Yeah, justice system failed. So he was like, okay, I can't rely on them. But then but then Jason Aaron's like, no, he was always a killer. I'm like, oh,
that's bullshit. Yeah, that means
Jason Aaron basically castrates the characters he works on. Thor, up until he replaced Thor with Jane Foster, was good.
The Demon Force that was good. I do like that one. That one's fantastic.
But then his Avengers run, I've only read one volume.
Avengers run went downhill. I couldn't read it. This is confusing. This is make no sense. Wait. Why did Moon Knight take over the world? Why's the Phoenix involved? What's happening? And I'm done.
But I know we were caught up in our own holidays, but my gift to you, Jared, something you've been asking for a while now.
Oh no.
Hold on, it's a good.
Don't you play that clip? Don't you play the Wonder Bag clip again? Don't you dare! Yes,
we need a bounce.
That was my idea. So after God Killer 2, a lot of stuff has happened. So what we're gonna do? It's not what you think, Tevia. We're not pulling a Spider-Man. All this is, it's a nice one-shot book where Superman and Wonder Woman, oh, by the way, in our universe, they are married. They're going to do a vow renewal. That's all it is. That's why I titled it Renew Your Vows, because I knew it'd be clickbaity as hell.
I love my new vow. That's a great story. I love that one.
And a bit of a dig at Dan Slott. I couldn't resist.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's a dig at Spider-Man editorial, really. So they deserve to be made fun of because, see, I wanted to get into like the Zeb Wells run up until I saw what was actually happening in the Zeb Wells run. Yeah, Castle was just a regular dude until the family killing. That's what. Yeah, exactly.
Yep,
that's what they don't know.
Yep.
Jason Aaron. Oh my gosh. T brings up a good point. Here's the problem. Hey, Tevia. Here's the problem.
What?
That's the problem. That is the problem. Daniel, look at Nemo. Daniel Incorrigibles.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Why ruin good stories? I don't know. Even at the wedding, they just wore their everyday costumes.
And Steve Trevor's crying in the corner with a bottle of beer.
Yeah, he's crying. And then the way I have is that after they do the whole "you may kiss the bride," as he's kissing Wonder Woman, Clark is basically giving Steve Trevor the bird. That's me.
On
But
internet-
and by
on
the
national
way,
television.
Master Sergeant, that was actually a thing from like a alternate future, I think, in like the Trinity book.
No. This one training. No, that on the future was actually from the Troop arc with Venom Savage.
Yeah, but the point is, it was like an alternate. It was like their dream of the future.
Yeah,
It's kind of funny when you see Superman dreaming about his future. Most of the time, it's with either Lana or Diana.
All that proves is that Lois wasn't his first choice. That's really all that proves.
But wait. Here's my point. If he really cares so much about Lois, shouldn't she be the person he's with in his dreams? Because here's the thing: the Black Mercy plant is supposed to show your innermost desires.
yes,
guess
he was
what?
curious about Krypton.
It
Yeah,
ain't
we know that.
Lois.
Talking about my story, we never got to see about my story with the Super Sons. I read the story. I would read that heartbeat. It was awesome.
Some
we got
people
my
believe-
story, Super Son in Wonder Woman, but that was with Trini.
Mhm.
What? You bastard! You
Mhm.
just give me that Batman with Super Son and tag out with Trini? What? Why?
Because Batman has a kid and Superman has a kid, so Wonder Woman should have a kid, Tevye.
Okay,
and
what
that's
else?
why.
The Black Mercy plant on him, and John and Damon fight, with argue each other for Trini.
Mhm.
What? I'm confused. But okay, the backup story is the one, even though I like the story, it made me angry because.
Can I say something that just came across my Twitter feed?
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
According to Sene House, now this is an account that has gotten some stuff right in the past. They've gotten some stuff wrong in the past. So
Take with a
I'm
grain
just
of salt, people.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. So this tweet, I quote, Grace Randolph just confirmed what I've already said. WB Pictures will be sold by David Zaslav because he can turn a huge profit, and the so-called DCU will not happen. And whoever buys Warner Bros. Will promote single movies like Superman, Batman again with no connected universe. Because here's the thing. I've always said after the DCEU, the mishandling, just do single movies at this point because that's where DC has excelled. Look at Joker.
Joker made $1 billion.
Because here's the thing. What they could do, I'm not saying even cancel these projects. All you have to do is take out all the connective tissue and you can release a few of these. Like Lanterns, you could do that. Because I want a Green Lantern cop show. That's the only one I hope they keep. Please keep that because
don't pull the plug on that show, please. That's
because
the one time.
here's the thing.
That's Superman.
And Tevye, Jihi, you know me. You know I'm a huge Green Lantern fan.
Yep.
Yes.
I even enjoyed the movie for the most part. It has some problems, but I liked some parts of the movie. So I kind of want that. Plus the idea of Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan teaming up in a buddy cop movie like Lethal Weapon.
Yep.
I'm sold right there. That's all you got. Plus the fact that there's the possibility that Cruz could show up in the show.
I'll be
But
happy,
the
Campbell.
point is, right now, DC has to focus on building up their reputation again. And that involves doing solo movies. Now, you could do crossover movies like maybe Superman, Batman. They could adopt Apocalypse. That would be fun. Or Public Enemies. They could do that.
Yeah. Or better yet, Men of Reba. You could have Reba with the Batman Superman at the Tom King story.
Yeah, you could do that. There's I'm not saying don't do like team up movies. It's just at this point, because also the general audience, and this is Marvel too, is getting burnt out on shared universes.
Yeah.
Because it's becoming too much like homework. That's the problem with James Gunn tying in shows, movies,
Video games
comics,
is a bad
gaming.
idea. I don't want to
I'm just like, you're making us homework when you see what Marvel is going through.
Marvel is going for way too much content. Fox did not have to make an X-Men movie.
No, X-Men was very self-contained.
Yeah, they did. Because here's the thing. X-Men became a shared universe. Because remember, all of their movies ostensibly are connected.
That is true.
Ostensibly. There are some inconsistencies, but the very fact that they have like returning actors and returning plot points implies that the newer movies and the older movies are one.
Which, in my opinion, makes sense. David Peter Pass is my ending to Fox Universe. That's my ending.
Yeah,
Because
and by the
that's
way,
my ending.
Days of Future Past is like the perfect X-Men. By the way, I asked Chris Claremont when I met him at SuperCon, what's like the movie that adapted your work that you think did it the best? Days of Future Past.
Yep, I agree with 100%.
It's
There
a
you
pretty
go.
standard. It's a pretty standard adaptation. The only difference is Wolverine's the one to go back in time instead
Not
of
Kitty
Kitty
Pryde.
Pryde.
Because Kitty Pryde can't sell a movie, honestly.
That
She
is
shows
true.
up, but people are going to show up for Hugh Jackman's Wolverines. By the way, can we say Hugh Jackman versus Deadpool, man?
I'm for a movie.
And by the
good,
way,
I really am.
they had some set video come out of them fighting. It looks so good. I'm really hoping that this is good. But they're gonna have like Marston show up in the 90s Cyclops suit.
That's cool.
The X-Men are in the 90s costumes. Yes, please.
I got to do this. Da, 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 da,
Danny.
da, 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 da.
I really hope that when the X-Men show up, just something like that sounds. They did it in Ms. Frickin' Marvel. They should try and branch out to audiobooks, novels, motion pictures. Yes, that is a fantastic idea.
But we did get audio.
Well, podcasts, but they could do way more with that. That's a fantastic
That's
idea.
true, yes. But we did get that. We got that in early Japan with Emily got that on audiobook.
But they should do more with that. Motion comics is another great idea. Take their most famous graphic novels and make them motion comics. You can make that content for your YouTube channel. There's any number of things.
Comment on anime movie, damn it. You can do the C and the anime movie done get better. Forget Injustice. Injustice, we've done that too many times. Fuck it, no. Do the C
Don't do
and
Injustice.
anime movie.
Do the C. I'll 100% do
That-
but keep it to the comic. Well,
Yeah,
arguably,
keep it just over there.
here's why I like the Injustice movie. Are you ready? The characters in the Injustice movie act consistent with their main universe characters. Now,
That's
remember,
true.
at the beginning
They
of
cut
this
them off.
very stream, I was complaining about how I hate Injustice. Again, because remember, like Wonder Woman starts off on Superman's side, but then when she finds out about like him killing kids, he's like, okay, and then him wanting to kill like Batman because he's like, they helped us. And he goes, they're criminals. And they go, I see now that I shouldn't have been siding with you. Thank you. And it's like with the Flash dying, I actually saw this fantastic video that was explaining why that's a good thing. Because he's like, do you really want to see like the Flash and Green Lantern and Shazam be turned into like a mouthpieces for a regime? Well, arguably Shazam actually dodged a bullet, literally. So
we got them all. He got killed in Injustice Universe. Well,
he was
got them all killed.
in the game. He was killed. Jay Heat.
Oh yeah, he did. That was a later scene.
In Injustice Universe, got them all killed. The other got them all in the main universe did not get killed.
That still annoys me to this day because they ultimately did it to be super edgy, but they punked out and had him in his adult form the entire time.
Where's the Marvel family? I was pissed about that. What the hell? Where's Mary Marvel? Not kid I like in DC. Like her brother forgot. Well, her sister forgot. His sister.
Breathe, Tevia, breathe.
It's all good. It's all good.
My point is, like, what Mary Marvel, his sister? His sister could take the power to the and become the new Captain Marvel. It makes sense. I might know that she might take care of some old motion comics. She started wearing
exactly. And this is another thing that Britt and I talked about on our show. So they should do that even for promotion, because have you seen the trailers for Gargoyles of Gotham?
Oh yeah, they came out.
Those are like animated movies, pretty much, and therefore a comic book. Which, by the way,
we got.
By the way,
Jared, one at a time. Jared,
Gargoyles of Gotham is a delight. I love that book.
It
is really good. And again, he's doing. And by the way, what's kind of fun is it's been so. And this another thing that Britt and I talked about is that Frank Miller has a plan for 2 more Dark Knight books, and if he can't do it, in other words, if he decides I can't do it, he would have he would supposedly have a grandpa take over the universe.
Who?
The dude who drew a Golden Child and is writing and drawing Gargoyles of Gotham. because they were
Right.
very close together. His name is Raphael Grandpa.
Oh, that guy, I'm going shot. Yeah, I want that story. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Allward, I just couldn't get Allward. It drove me insane because what? That's not John. He's
That
like a
is.
monk.
It's that version of John Kent.
True. It was confusing.
It's just that version. It may not be the version that you like. It's still a version of the character.
That is true. Yes.
That's
But
what I
this-
always that's what I always tell people when they say that's not like Superman. That's not Batman. I go, yeah, it is. As long as it has the official DC logo up there, it is that version of the character. It's not. It may not be the version you like, and you know what? You have every right to feel that way. Every right.
Yep.
There are plenty of versions of Superman that I can't stand, like Rebirth Superman. I'm not saying he's not Superman.
Yep.
Injustice Superman.
Yep.
I'm just like, that's just a version of the character that I can't stand, but it's still a valid version of that character.
Wait.
The multiverse exists.
I'm going to count of 3, but no, I can't count that. That's kind of
Hell, Christopher Reeve Superman, which I like mostly, is a version of the character.
Yeah, but Homeland is parents remember the monster.
But it's different here, but because what I'm talking about is that, at least in the DC multiverse, it's all these different characters. They're just different versions of these characters with different circumstances and different takes. The way I see it, and it's the same thing I've always said, well, not with Zack Snyder or anyone else. Everyone has a right to have their own takes on the characters. You don't have to like it, but everyone has their own takes. Like James Gunn. The thing about Superman Legacy is that I don't think the movie's going to come out because I know the shenanigans Warner Brothers pulls.
Yep. Indeed. Extra movies are more like.
But by the way, on reference to that article, that tweet I just read about Grace Randolph, and actually Sammy the Snyder Queen, a fellow co-host of Comics League, she posted that it does coincide with what a lot of industry experts have been saying, that WBD is better off as a seller and not a buyer. That was the problem with the Paramount deal. And they said likely NBC Universal is lining up to do it. So I
already told you Universal was likely. I already told you that from day one.
And once again, and the thing is that you could say, well, if they go single movies, that means no Snyderverse. Not necessarily. They could license it and just say, because what they could say is, hey, because what I've always said is that I'm not saying they only do Superman 1. And then just move on. No, you could do Superman 1, 2, 3, Batman 1, 2, 3. It doesn't really matter, but just don't connect those two. If you want to continue the Snyderverse, just do Justice League Part 2, Justice League Part 3. You're done. That version of the universe is done. But that's end rant.
Here's your reward, Jared.
Okay, that is actually kick ass. Wow.
I have no idea.
Wow. That is really, really cool.
We are definitely working up to this.
Oh,
this
yeah.
will definitely be. We got to go back with Wonder Woman and God Killer and do those stories. But eventually we will build up to this.
Maybe we could do an entire New Direction War of Light.
Potentially.
Who knows? But
who knows?
Yeah. So, but back to Aquaman. I know we went.
Finally, God.
Good movie. What I see it again? Sure.
Yeah. As for me, I thought Aquaman was pretty good. The scientist subplot dragged on a little too long, but that's just
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it dragged on, and his ending was,
it's like
weird.
Okay.
He didn't even get any accolades for Atlantis exposing to the surface world. He's
that
going to prison.
Yeah, that made me mad. But what? I don't get it. Yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah, my dad birthday today. I forgot to call me. You call me this now, so
yeah. But all in all, a great movie and great stream, Jay Heat.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
this was,
I for me, this movie I didn't like it that much, but if I rewind eventually, give it another shot. I don't know. I'll give it a nurse.
Because I will say, a lot of movies get better the more times you watch them, like me watching the Snyder Cut 15 times.
Yep. Indeed.
well, on that note, I just want to say that this was a great stream and a great birthday celebration for me. So I thank you guys for
Happy
joining, and
birthday!
you all for watching. Have a good night, Master Sergeant. Take care and happy New Year.
Oh man, Jay Heat's getting old.
Yep.
I'm 25. How am I old?
No
Oh, wait,
comment.
Jay, wait. Should we give a rating to Aquaman? We should give a ratings.
I already gave it an 8, but if you want to go ahead and
Yeah.
give your own final thoughts, go
Mhm.
ahead.
Okay. My final video, like I said before, I thought it was disappointing and train wreck and not way NDCU. But my rating rating 2 out of 5 stars. Looking back at it, yeah, I still stick with my rating and still my rating period. Is it the worst movie I've seen in my life? No. But it won't disappoint me.
Because remember, this movie exists in the same continuity as Birds of Prey.
Oh yeah. Damn it.
You can't say this is the worst DCU movie when Birds of Prey exists.
That's true.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do it twice. I'm not going to do it twice.
Other than that, that is me. Still rating 2 out of 5.
Still, that's a pretty harsh rating, man. Jeez.
True.
As for my final thoughts, great movie. If you're a Black Manta fan, you're probably going to come out of this a little disappointed because Korvac or the entity pretty much takes a lot of the spotlight to where Manta's kind of a stooge the entire time. But he's only fully possessed until the final. He's only fully possessed at the final battle. So at least Manta's actor actually gets something to do.
Yeah.
So might not be what you wanted, but he was able to be a menace. So
Yep.
Mara would have been, if it were up to me, Mara would have been recasted, but that's just a nitpick
I
at this
will
point.
catch that with the Khaleesi from Game of Thrones.
But all in all, still a good movie. Jared, your final thoughts?
Pretty good. I give it a solid 8 out of 10 because it wasn't perfect. It wasn't the first Aquaman movie. Let me put it to you that way.
Yep.
Oh,
But-
no.
Oh no.
But I overall very much enjoyed it. I like that they didn't do the dead baby subplot, so that gave it an extra point in my mind. And they used Mara pretty well. I like the dynamic between Arthur and Orm. I like the action scenes. I like the VFX. I like the humor because it's in line with Jason Momoa's version of Aquaman. So it wasn't like he was acting out of character all of a sudden. And pretty solid sequel.
I wouldn't mind an Aquaman sequel. Maybe James Gunn's DCU does kick off and we can get Aquaman 3 either carry over or as an Elseworld.
Wait, Jason Momoa didn't want to be Aquaman. He want to be Lobo now.
Hey, either way, I support the guy. So,
Yep, I support that too.
me personally, I see him as a better Lobo, but to future endeavors.
Yep.
We'll see if the
And
universe actually happens.
I'll likely have some pre-recorded stuff go live, but this is going to be likely going to be the official live stream of the year. I thank you all for getting me to over 185 subscribers. I am truly humbled and blessed by each and every one of you, and I wish both myself, my co-hosts, and their respective channels, and the overall Comics League brand long-term success going into 2024.
Yep.
I can't wait.
So with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, flame off.